Yo, yo, what's up, YouTube? We are live. We are about to have some fun. We are about to plan some of my tour stops together. Who is all here in the house tonight? My watch page is on. It's looking good. It says I am officially live. We're already getting somebody doing their own Richie from Boston impression. You got to get right with God. You can like, share, subscribe, but don't. At any rate, I digress. Somebody already, before we've even really kicked off the show, he's already going into his own Richie from Boston. I have started a channel where now, before I even start a stream, people are doing their own Richie from Boston impressions via chat. That's what I always wanted. When I was a little boy, I knew one day I was going to grow up and be a guy who has people in the chat who asked me to do an impression of a guy. All right. Whatever that means. All right. Limp away, air duct and dry vent cleaning here, says Jake. What's up, my man? Bub Scat says, come to Phoenix. I have actually a fun stream plan where I'm going to tell you guys what I like about certain states and what I don't like. And when I come through, like some of the issues that I have with like wanting to bypass certain states, and then other states are like totally cool that I want to hit for sure. And then there's some new states that I've never been to that I don't even know if it's going to suck or if it's cool or what. And so I was hoping tonight through running this stream, I could get some ideas as to what direction to go. Guys, I don't even know whether to take off north and head into Oregon and Seattle first, or take off south and do LA, Vegas, and head south. So just knowing which way I even want to leave is still up in the air. So I figure people are going to tell me, come to this place, come to that place. And if I see a shitload of people all mentioning the same cities, I'll know to put a star next to those. But also, I know certain states out there suck ass, and I really don't want to go back. And there's nothing wrong with the people so much. It's mostly like there's some states I just don't like them, whereas the people are cool, but the state itself blows nuts. All right. Dreamcatcher says, check out Crater Lake in Oregon. I went there once, and it was beautiful. The only thing is you just like stop and you look at it in the ground, and you're like, yep, there it is. Do I really want to go down there and look at it any closer? Nah, I can see it from up here just fine. All right, on to the next thing. So that's one of those things you drive by, you take a quick look at, but then you're done. But Oregon is awesome. I did a trip last summer. I visited my dad, and I watched Blue Oyster Cult concert in Oregon, and I hit the coast and drove all the way up just south of Portland to Albany, watched Blue Oyster Cult front row for free, because I'm badass and I'm me. And then I came back. I have not been into Washington State. So Washington State would be a new state I could add to the list. So that is on the table. The question is, do I wait and come back around that way on my way back, or do I go that way to begin with? Still trying to figure that out. There's so many damn choices when it comes to taking a trip across the USA. It's like, well, which route you want to go and how far across? It's like, I've never been to Maine. It looks like it could be pretty, and I could do some really nice videos of nature and stuff in Maine. Should I go to Maine? I'm thinking maybe I should go all the way to Maine, because I ain't never been there, Maine. Yes, I will be a traveling man. Well, I'm playing in a traveling van, and I'm traveling in a traveling van. Well, I'm coming out to your land, and I'm playing in my traveling van. I'm coming to your town, and I'm gonna burn it down, and I'm a traveling man. I think I mixed like 3 songs together to make that one. Cat's never been to Maine either. So I got the van about ready to go, and the weather here is heating up fast. So it's basically my signal to hit the road. I just can't quite figure out which damn way I should go first. Because I know I kind of want to do a loop, and I don't want to go there one way and come back the same way. So I kind of want to do a loop. It's just if I take off south first, then if when we get into June, it's going to be hot and muggy in the south. But if I wait until late June, it's going to be even more hot and muggy. So I feel like I should probably go south first, but I don't really like some of those states that much in the south. The south has some cool people in some cool areas, but there's also some really shitty, sketchy, nasty, little terrible places where there's no good spots to camp, and I don't even want to park. So just trying to figure out where I'm going to end up on a nightly basis is also a deal. So it's like I can plan out 3-4 days in a row, and then when I get to the middle of the country, I'm like, ugh, I don't like any of those states. But there's some cool people. And I know I have a subscriber base that's big enough that I have people who are like, hey, come, you could stay on my land in your van. Jake, I have an extra Airbnb. Jake, I have an extra room. Jake, you could flop on my couch. And so there are people who offer me spots to stay in these places. But I'm looking at it also camping wise. Some nights I want to make nature videos and just do camping videos out of the van. And so I want to make sure to hit lots of cool spots that are visually appealing. A lot to say. Kat says, I like North Carolina best so far. I would like to hit the Carolinas. I have not seen either one in like 20 years, almost 20 years. I was a teenager last time I was there, so my memories are faded. And I wasn't the one driving. I was on a trip with my dad many, many years ago. So I would love to get back over there to the Carolinas. All right. So we got 119 people. I didn't figure it was going to be a super huge stream. I kind of just threw this one together on short notice. But I did want to see from you guys, like what states I should stop by and do meetups, because there are certain states I can shoot through. There's not much going on. And then there's certain states where I have a bunch of subs and it makes sense to do meetups. And so there's certain big cities where it would make sense for me to market as an absolute for sure tour stop, to where you guys are going to know for sure I'm coming to a certain city for sure. And then there's other places I might just skip on by because there ain't as many people there who watch me, or the state just sucks and I don't want to go there. So there's a lot of variables. Let me go back and read some comments. I've been talking for a lot here. And then I got a really cool video to show you guys, completely different off subject. It looks like we have spotted confirmation of Joe Biden's mask, which we already knew, but it looks like we've got absolute confirmation now. All right. So just before I started streaming, Alphonse Gambino says, it's 8:31, Jake. He was on it down to the minute. He's like, you're a minute late. You need to start now. Yeah, I was probably hitting the bowl right quick. You guys can tell by my slit eyes. I look like I'm Chinese. Me Chinese, me play joke, me go pee pee in your coke. Ching chicka ching, ching chicka chong, licka licka dick, licka ding ding dong. Excuse me. Yes, I was outside hitting the bowl. Donna X here says, welcome, Jake, mods, subs, and viewers. Mods, subs, viewers, all of you, yes, welcome, and glad you're here, Donna. I was thinking of taking the van over to the coast just before I head out, so because I haven't been all year yet. So I think you live over near the coast where I like to go. I like to go to Santa Cruz. I think you live over near there. I don't know if you still live over there, but I might be heading there in the next few days even for like a one-nighter, maybe a two-nighter. And I have a couple subs that wanted to hang out over there in Santa Cruz. So I might do like a very small private get-together in the Santa Cruz area, maybe within the next few days. So if you're still over in that area and you are available, maybe perhaps I can shake your hand and give you a hug for all the generous donations and your wonderful support over the years. BA is wanting a Richie from Boston impersonation.
Well, I gotta tell you, I've been driving around from coast to coast, all right? And I got a beautiful house back home in Boston. But the reason why I don't go back is those nano drones, the Chinese ones. They're waiting for me, all right? And the last time I went there, I was I thought the coast was clear. I was hanging out in my bedroom, reading my Bible, and those little damn Chinese nano robots started flying in my asshole one by one. And I was like, holy Jesus, I need to get the hell out of here. So I packed up my overlander truck and I got the hell out of there. And I haven't been back since. All right. So you can like, share, or subscribe. I don't. But at any rate, I digress. I don't know what rate I need to digress. I'm still trying to figure out at which rate I need to digress. But at any rate, I will digress.
There you go. Let's get that out of the way. Yeah, never gets old, does it? Well, it will eventually, but maybe he'll be dead by then. Who knows? Anywho, all right. So before I go on and on and on about my trip, I did have this video. It's real fast. It's quick. I'll show it to you. Yeah. All right, you guys tell me what you think of this little video right here.
Oh my gosh, that's a mess. Holy cow.
Well, the key to success in North Carolina. And he was a very conservative guy. He was very
oh my gosh.
That's a mask. I told you. I done told y'all. Now here's more. See, regular people are starting to figure it out. Normies are catching on now, y'all. The normies are figuring it out.
Oh my gosh, that's a mess.
Oh, look at that. Now people are going to be like, those are just wrinkles. Those, you know how old people, you can just move your wrinkles around. If you don't like your wrinkles over here, you can just move them over to the other side of your face. I'm getting some live text coming in from one of my mods. Yeah, she said, Faith sent me this video about somebody, I guess, testifying in court or somewhere or another that the ISS is being faked. And she was saying it's because of my work that this is starting to happen. And then I went to watch the video and it wouldn't let me watch it. And now she's even saying that I guess it's been taken down. So apparently more people are speaking up against NASA and the ISS being fake. People are going to town hall meetings and bringing it up. And now I guess it's being brought up on more of a national scale. So who knows? Maybe at some point in our life, the truth will come out about that. But this video right here, whichever side of the screen it's on for you, that right there, that's the confirmation I was looking for.
Oh my gosh, that's a mess.
Yep.
Holy cow.
Well, the key to success in North Carolina. And he was a very conservative guy. He was very
oh my gosh.
conservative guy. He was very
oh my gosh, that's a mess.
Hey, you know, not everything on TikTok is garbage. At least there's something on TikTok I can agree with, right? See, these are the type of TikToks I like. Only problem is it's mostly dominated by hoes who are spreading their legs and then obese, huge, gigantic fat ladies who are trying to be like sexy, but it's just like gross for shock value. That's what happens if I get on TikTok and somebody shows me one good video like that one. The next thing that happens is like the next girl comes up and she'll be like, or it'll be some gigantic fat lady in a bikini for shock value. And I'm like, that's a problem with TikTok. Well, there's many problems with TikTok. But the good news is some people are posting the truth out there. It's good news. I like to see that. Oh yes, it's faded now. It's the lettering's getting faded because it's like probably 3 years old now. But yeah, this one is my own design. Very basic. This was one of those when it first came out, it sold a bunch, but now people, it's not as big of a seller because they phased out the C word. Yeah. Show my chest, Jake. Well, you can clearly see my chest in my last shorts video. In fact, why don't I do that just in case anyone didn't see my shorts? You can eat my shorts, man. 1 second. All right, we'll watch all three because they're so short, just in case any of you missed any of them. Up here in the International Space Station, all the other astronauts left me here alone, so it's a bit lonely up here, but it's cool. Been working on my backflips and such. Just hanging out. Woo! Aliens definitely. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Jake, the first flat earther on the International Space Station. You know, I thought it was pretty cool at first when I was up here. I was doing a bunch of backflips and such, and then I accidentally got my feet caught on these wires. I pulled the wires out of the wall and we almost died. I almost killed the whole crew by accident. Whoever put these wires all dangling all over the place, whoever did the electrical work really didn't know what they were doing. I mean, they really need to fix this before somebody gets killed up here. But other than that, it's pretty awesome. Just been hanging around. Woo! What's up, guys? Jake here. I am the first ever flat earther aboard the International Space Station. All the other astronauts went out on a spacewalk, so I decided to get butt naked. Woohoo! Butt naked in space.
Is it butt naked or is it buck naked? Anywho, I thought it would be fun to be naked in zero gravity. The bad thing is my junk keeps bouncing up against my leg. Not quite as fun as I thought it was going to be. Oh, and when you finish, if you know what I mean, it kind of goes everywhere, if you know what I mean. Woo! Whoa, almost got kicked off YouTube there. Hey! Woo! What's up, guys?
There you go. There is my ISS shorts that I created. Ever since the NFL season ended, YouTube has buried my shorts. So during the NFL season, I was like dominating with my NFL rigged shorts. And then ever since the season ended, they have just absolutely stifled the shorts. So I'm going to try an experiment where I upload a bunch of them and see if I can maybe like re-trigger the algorithm. And I'm going to try all different sorts. I'm going to do like van life shorts, ISS shorts, truth shorts, just random funny shit. So I'm just going to like tamper with the shorts and see if I can like re-trigger the algo. Because at one point during the NFL season, I got 1.8 million views on one short video. So there's potential with shorts to randomly trigger the algorithm and they'll just go nut bar crazy. And it wasn't like the best NFL clip I ever posted. And somehow it got 1.8 million views. And then this one, like right here, got 3,000 views. So it can really depend quite greatly. It just is, it's all up to this weird magical algorithm with these shorts. But I noticed if you do have one that goes viral, you can pick up a bunch of new subs all at once. And they do show the shorts to new people. And so this is like one of the only ways now that anyone new sees my channel. So if you're wondering what's up with the shorts, they're not my favorite, but they show them to new people. And if you get me in front of new people, that's like the only way that I can get any sort of new audience members showing up. That way it's not just the same echo chamber for the next 5-6 years. However long they let me stick around. All right. So there you go. There's my shorts and the Joe Biden mask video. Well, I'm also simul streaming tonight. I haven't done anything on my backup channel in a while, and it was just collecting dust. So I did a simul stream tonight. I'm running live on 2 channels at the same time tonight. I'm thinking I might use the backup channel to take clips from over here and do smaller short clips and stuff over there as like, that way there's something going on with it. So I notice a lot of channels do that now. You have your main channel and then you have your side channel where you cut up little clips and shit to help promote the bigger channel. So right now I am simul streaming for anyone who cares. So if you are one of the 20-30 people on the Jake Gibson channel watching, I mainly post on the Jake the Asshole channel. So if you are only sub to the Jake Gibson channel and you've wondered where I've been, come over here to the Jake the Asshole channel. Most of you should know that by now, but anyway. Back to the trip. All right. So here's the map of the western part of the United States, and I am right there in the middle of California in the Sacramento area. So, when I take off, obviously I can head down south, hit Los Angeles, do some sort of thing there, and then hit Las Vegas, and then head into Arizona. Problem is, it's already hot as balls in Phoenix. So Las Vegas is already getting up to about 100, and Phoenix has already had a few days where they've been over 100. So I can tell it's going to be hot in the next couple weeks. So when I take off, it's going to be super hot if I go down that way. And I don't really like sleeping in a van when it's like 80 degrees at night. It's not comfortable. So that's one of the things I don't like is the damn heat down there. So how many people do I have here in the chat in Arizona area? Just wondering. How many people here live in the Las Vegas to Phoenix area? Alphonse, bro, you say dry heat. At nighttime, it doesn't like cool down. It gets like 80, it's like only 80 degree. And then in a stuffy van, it's no good. I've been there many times, so I know what it's like. And then early in the morning when the sun comes up, it bakes your vehicle and forces you to get up earlier than you want to. So that's one of those places I'd have to like maybe stay at somebody's spot or get a hotel or something if I did go through. Now, just north of Phoenix, Flagstaff is like 15 degrees cooler and much nicer. However, the population isn't that big, so I don't know how many subscribers are going to make their way out to Flagstaff to come hang out. If I did something in like Flagstaff or Sedona area in Arizona, it's much more pretty. The camping's way better than me trying to camp somewhere in Phoenix. But the population up there is way smaller. All the millions of people are in the Phoenix area. Lintaway Air Duct is in Tempe. Okay. So here's my thing is I'm in Sacramento, and if I take off and go north first, then I could be nice and cool and not worry about the heat at all right out of the gate. And I could do Portland area all the way into Seattle. This is a new state for me, so I've never been to Washington. So all this, I could make a series of videos between camping, and I could do a meetup in the Seattle area. Who do I got in the Pacific Northwest area? Portland, Seattle area. Do we got any Pacific Northwest people here? Because I could start the trip and go up that way. Kelly says if you go north, you'll see lots of bums. Yeah, in the big cities, they have lots of bums. But then when you get outside the cities, it's not nearly as bad. California, Oregon, and Washington in the cities have their homeless populations. But once you get outside the city, it's beautiful. All three of them states are absolutely gorgeous. And so mainly those homeless pops are concentrated in the big cities to certain areas. So as long as you don't go to their homeless encampments, you can basically avoid that. But I know what you're talking about. In the major cities, there's tents and bums set up everywhere now. Waiting to Die says, I'm up here. I guess that means up in Seattle area or Pacific Northwest. Cat's up there. So these are just some of the choices I have just right out of the gate from just leaving. And I know Seattle's got areas that absolutely suck and are trash, and I've heard that from plenty of people. But there's also areas of the town that are nice, and then there's parks on the outskirts where that are upscale. So I could set up a meetup at an upscale, really nice park in a neighborhood just outside of Seattle, where rich people live. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to like set up any sort of meetup like in the dead of the ghetto. So I'm going to strategically try and avoid the hellacious hellhole sides of these big cities, obviously. So if I do meetups, I'm going to strategically plan it at a nice place. I'm not going to be like, oh, let's go to the whore part of town where all the whores are, and let's all have a meetup and stare at the whores. No, I'm smarter than that. Speaking of, can you guys refer me some good whores? Just kidding. Or am I? Bobby Z says, come to I don't even know if I'm going to say this right. Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, or Spokane, Washington. Here's the deal. That would be part of the loop. If I did go north and do Portland area, Seattle, then of course I would start cutting east, and I would hit Spokane, and I'd go right through that Coeur d'Alene area. There it is. Yeah, so if I hit Spokane naturally, boom, I'd go right into there. And then, see, I have some choices to make. I could go through Montana and do a bunch of nature-y van life videos, do lots of good camping and stuff. I know that there's not a lot of subs up here, but I could do some really good nature stuff. And I've never been to either of the Dakotas, so both the Dakotas would be new places for me to visit. But again, I don't have many subs up there. So I wouldn't hit major big cities over in the east or Midwest. If I stay up north, I wouldn't hit anything big until I got into like Minnesota with Minneapolis, because there's like no big cities up here, but there's a lot of great camping. So that's the one bad thing, is there's like not going to be a lot of places for me to meet up with that many subs up there. The subs I do have are going to be, very far and few and spread out. But I could do a lot of really nice camping videos, and I've never been to the Dakotas. So it's when I get to this part of the country, it's like kind of a question mark. Which Dakota is better? And then I start looking up marijuana-friendly states, because let's be honest, some of the states are still ass backwards. So there's a lot of states that have decriminalized pot. A lot of states now are either medical or they're fully recreational legal. And to be honest, with California plates, 6 years ago when I went across the United States, I had a little bit of trouble with cops profiling me with the California plate. And in Oklahoma, they took my pot and they gave me a ticket. Now, I've heard that they've changed things in Oklahoma, and it ain't like that no more. But just ass backwards cops in some of these states when you get to the Midwest and whatnot, I'm a little leery of, because they'll follow me and pull me over for nothing just to say that they smell pot so that they can search me. So that was an issue last time I crossed the United States. Luckily, I made it. And they wrote me a ticket in Oklahoma, which I didn't go to trial because California is not part of the Violators Compact. So basically nothing happened. But they did inconvenience me and take my pot, which I did not like. Bobby Z's got a pot leaf on his profile pic, so he knows what's up. He says, not Idaho. That's why I said Spokane. Yeah, see, I know Idaho's not friendly with it, but if I'm just going through real quick in that little piece of Idaho right there, then I'd probably be okay. You know what I'm saying? Because like it's a short stretch, and then boom, I'd be into the next state, Montana. So just stuff I got to think about. So once I get up here, it'll be pretty much nice and cool still for the most part. And if I took this northern route, I could hit a new state. I could hit the Dakotas. I've never been to either one. I could hit Minnesota area, Wisconsin. Never been to Minnesota or Wisconsin. I have a bunch of subs in Chicago. I did a meetup there before. I don't really like big, huge, gnarly cities, but I do have a bunch of subs there. I've never been to Michigan. I don't really like Illinois or Indiana or Iowa as states. So I really don't like any of these states down here. They're pretty much, in my opinion, garbage states. Nothing against the people who live there. I just don't like them. They're states that I just want to hurry and get through. And I don't really like Ohio that much. Nothing against people who live there. I did a meetup there. I just don't really like it there. It's just not very nice. Not gonna lie, most of the area I visited over on the East Coast, like there was a few nice areas, don't get me wrong. But once you start getting into a lot of these big cities over here, they're just pretty nasty, a lot of them. So I'm not a huge fan of big cities. So if I do visit, I'm going to probably hit like the outskirts and try and find like a nice place if I am going to do a meetup. And I'm going to avoid what I did last time of going like right into the middle of the city and shit. So just not really into big cities as much. All right, so if I went up north, I could then cycle. I could even maybe possibly go all the way up and into Maine. The farthest north I went is into New York. I went to Buffalo, and then I hit Atlantic City, and then I turned around and came back on the last trip. That was 6 years ago, 2017. So if I was to go into any of these states up here, it'd be a first time for me. Vermont, Maine, Massachusetts, Connecticut, all these ones up here. I've never been to any of them, so all that would be new. So I could go all the way up to Maine just so I could say I've been to Maine. And it looks pretty, the pictures over there. And then I could, of course, come back down and hit all the southern states. And then on my way back, I could go south or come across the middle. God, there's so many options. Now, if I go the other way and I start the trip and head south, then I can do the loop in the opposite direction. The problem is if I do that big loop, then all these cities in the middle get missed. So if I go across the middle and I do these like cities in the middle, Denver, KC, because there's a shitload of people who sub to my channel in the Denver and the KC area. I've already had several people ask me to come to Kansas City. The problem is if I go through the middle, then I can't hit the north, and then or I'll skip the south. And so it's really hard to plan a trip and want to hit everything because the country is too damn big. It's too damn big to hit everything. Is it possible to hit everything? Yeah, but I can't be out on the road for 6 months. So if I'm going to stay out on the road for an entire month and do a big loop, that means the middle of the country gets missed. If I go through the middle of the country, then I got to skip the south or I got to skip the north. Because whichever way your loop is, you see what I'm saying? You got to skip one area or the other. And if I try and jig-jag everywhere, jig-jag all across the map, it'll take too long and cost a lot. Here's a comment that I just found, and I just looked at the comments just now. It says, if you're homo, I'm not even going to finish the word because that's probably hate speech on YouTube if you just say the whole word. I'm just going to say, if you're homo, visit Oklahoma. You know, all they have in Oklahoma is steers and queers. So which one are you? I don't see any horns, so you must be a queer, boy. Shit, I hope that's not hate speech. This is all comedy. All comedy, by the way. Nothing against steers and queers. It's part of my comedy act. Yee. Looks like I missed a super chat with a message retracted from XVHK Green. So I don't know what that person said, but they sent me a super chat and then retracted the message. So thanks to XVHK Green. I appreciate that, even though you retracted the super chat. Or I mean the message. I think that's like the first one of the night. Okay, let me read some comments because I've been just ranting about the country, and I can go on and on. Here's the problem, guys. I sat here the other night, a couple nights ago, for like 3 hours just staring at the map, like, okay, which way should I go? Which state should I skip? How much time can I do this in to where it's comfortable and I'm not like having to rip ass 7-8 hours a day? And yeah, you can sit there and stare at the country and just hours go by and you still can't make up your mind. And that's what happened to me. Faith is talking to someone else, says you should come down to Georgia and check out Savannah. It's just as breathtaking and way my chill. So I haven't been to Savannah, but I have lived in Georgia. I lived in Georgia for 6 years when I was a teenager in Roswell, which is just outside of Atlanta. And so the only thing I really know about Georgia is the northern part of the state. And I never actually went to the Georgia coast. Now, I did go down south into Florida, and I have family on my dad's side that lives in Florida. And so I have visited the entire state of Florida, top to bottom, and saw a lot of great places, have a lot of great memories there. But I haven't been to Florida in, God, probably almost 20 years. Or more. I was a teenager, and now I'm like, I turned 40 this year. Holy shit. So it's been over 20 years. Jeez. It's basically impossible for me to only visit states where it's completely legal. At some point or another, you got to go through a state that isn't. And in that case, I'm just not going to carry a lot, and I'm going to hide it really well. They don't search you down at every single, like time you enter a new state. Mainly, the only issue I had was in ass backwards Illinois, in the southern part of Illinois, where it's nothing but cornfields and shit, and a bunch of just little shit towns. There was some cops just sitting on the highway, 2 of them, and the minute I drove past them, I was doing like dead on 65 miles on the speed limit. And one of them just got right behind me and followed me for 30 miles. And when I switched lanes, he pulled me over and said, "Oh, you have to have your blinker on for 40 feet. You can't switch lanes unless your blinker's on for 40 feet. Oh, do you have any marijuana? It's like they took my marijuana in Oklahoma. So I showed him my ticket from Oklahoma when they took my marijuana, and he was all like, "Oh, you mind if I search your vehicle?" I'm like, yes, I do mind. They took my marijuana. I don't have anything, and now you're going to inconvenience me. You missed the big drug bust, buddy. This was how I was talking to him. I'm like, you missed it. You're going to go through my shit and put me and my dog on the side of the road. You have the ticket in your hand from Oklahoma that says they took my pot. You missed it. So if you go through my car and you find a seed or a stem under the seat that they missed and you want to write me another ticket, I don't got time for that. I'm trying to go to Chicago so I can get laid by this one chick and smoke some weed. And he was like, okay, Mr. Gibson, you have a nice day. And then he let me go. But shit like that sucks to have to deal with. It really does. And then in Oklahoma, I was driving and they took my pot because there was a sign that had flashing lights that said narcotics checkpoint ahead. And I was like, what? I'm not going through that. And I took an exit. Apparently, if you take the exit before the narcotics checkpoint, that's where the cops get you. I didn't know that. You're supposed to keep driving through what is a fake narcotics checkpoint and nothing happens. You just drive through it. I didn't know. I thought I'm going to get off on this exit, skip the narcotics checkpoint. That's why they got me in Oklahoma and took my pot. So I learned my lesson now that if there's a flashing light that says narcotics checkpoint, you just keep fucking driving. So it's basically impossible to go through the entire country without hitting a state that isn't completely legal. Some states are medical, and then some states have decriminalized. So it's a lot has changed since I went across the country last time, in a good way as far as those laws go. So I'm less scared than I was last time. And if I keep my trips just driving like during the day, and just not drive too many miles during the day, and just watch it. Be very aware of my surroundings. I should be able to be okay. Sherlock with a donation says, regards from Toledo, Ohio. I think that's where I did my last meetup in Ohio, was Toledo. I only did one. Yeah, it was Toledo. And thank you, Sherlock, for the donation. I appreciate that. You're a scholar and a gentleman. And it looks like another donation coming in from XVHK Green. Thank you, HVXK Green. I appreciate that. Oh, I missed it. Where was it? Somebody said, oh, this is the one I meant to grab. Super Painting 62 says, mail me your weed and I'll hold it for you. All right. I'm going to put it in the mailbox, bro. I'm just going to shove this into some UPS package and send it to Super Painting 62. And I trust it's all going to be there when I get there, right? Now, here's the thing. I had subscribers hook me up with pot. So after they took my pot in Oklahoma, I had subs who, after I told the story, bring me pot. And then they brought me too much pot where I had to turn it down. One guy brought me an ounce, and then several other people brought me a gram or two, and then an eighth or whatever. And so then I was like, guys, now I have over an ounce, and that's enough to get me put behind bars in some of these states. So I'm like, I can't have all this pot. So I had to turn away some of the pot, which felt weird to turn away pot. But yeah, I was like, dude, I still have to head back across the United States, and I have to go through Kansas, and I have to go through some no-no states. Oh, Kansas and Utah are still no-no states. David Yount says, anything happens, I'll restock you. Yeah, I'm not nearly as worried about it this time, but it is something I have to think about because I am a straight up an everyday smoker. and I carry it. You know what I mean? So I might have to like find a like stash spot, hide it real well, and then when I am going through a state that's not weed friendly, just make sure to like not smoke up in the car so it's all smelly and shit. Just, regular precautions. I would like to come to the Carolinas, Bob. I have several subscribers over there, and it is nice over there. There's a lot of nice areas over there. So definitely one of the nicer states I could hit. Thanks, David Yount. I appreciate that, buddy. Andrew tells me to visit south side of Miami. I heard it's a great tourist attraction for Europeans. The Cubans and I don't know, man. If I say that word, they might take me down. Who knows? I'll just say Africans. The Cubans and Africans will love seeing you there. You never know, man. See, I had a stream taken down recently for HS. So I got to watch what I say so that I don't get a second strike. That'd be bad. But once the first one goes away, then I'll return back to saying stuff like what you have there on the screen. All it would take is one. Never mind. Okay. Let me get back on track. So the sad news is I'm not going to be able to visit everywhere. You see what I'm saying? Because I can only do a loop because I'm back here in California. So for me to do a loop, there's several routes. You see what I'm saying? The southern route, and then the one just above that up here, and then up above that, another route across the United States, another route up here in the middle of the country. See? So it's hard for me, let's say, when I get to, if I go through Phoenix, to be like, okay, I'm going to do Albuquerque and Denver and Kansas City. Oh, wait, but then what about Texas? No, I got to drive back down there too. See, trying to hit everywhere becomes a pain in the ass. So it's like I have to miss one section or the other. And so trying to figure out what areas I want to miss. Because I like the South, but it's going to get hot and muggy over there real quick. The deeper down south I go. So I like traveling through those areas, and I like some of the areas on the Gulf Coast. But I know it's going to be hot and muggy real quick too. Once we get into June, it's going to be hot, and there's some areas where at nighttime it's really humid and not very fun to be in a van if it's 80 degrees and like 80% humidity. Ashy Dog, I've changed a lot since I went across the United States 6 years ago. My tastes have changed, and my experiences that I had going across last time and coming back. Like now I know, like I don't like to spend the whole trip driving. I want to get out and see stuff. So that means I got to spend more time, finding spots out in nature and spots to enjoy camping. And so I don't want to be spending too much time behind the windshield. And I don't want to spend too much time in big, huge cities that are nasty. And a lot of big cities these days, let's face it, are nasty. And so every big city has a nice side to it, but every big city also has a nasty side. So then when I roll through a city that I haven't been to or haven't been to in a long time, I got to get on my phone and figure out where the hell I even want to go and how to drive through it to avoid the nasty areas. And so everything is like trying to plan it out completely, like plan out an entire tour. Becomes super difficult because then I got to stick to what I'm planning out, and then if anything goes wrong, then plans can change super quick. So if I say, hey guys, I'm going to be in this city on this certain day, then if my plans change, anything goes wrong, then I got to scrap that idea anyway. So then it's almost better for me to not plan it out completely and then just have a tentative plan for the next week or two to hit a certain area and then take it from there. So trying to figure out the whole damn thing like a band going on tour and have every spot mapped out, planned out, where I'm going to stop, where I'm going to sleep, is almost like impossible for me to figure it all out. So I'm in this predicament where I don't know which way I want to go, but I know I want to go. It's not a bad predicament, but time's a ticking away, and I got to get my ass out on the road. And I know I'm not gonna be able to hit every area. Bean Dean says that time you met up with Max Powerland. Or you mean Matt Powerland. And he was actually a friend of mine who I met up with several times. So I didn't just meet up with him once. I met up with him many times. And he was my friend. But he's one of those people who I still wonder to this day if he's an agent or what the hell he is, and who he worked for, who paid him, what the script for him was. To this day, I still wonder. Battery 79 says just run your van all night so AC will run while you're sleeping. That's a stupid idea. I'm not gonna run AC all night long. You're crazy. Oh yeah, I got one. That reminds me, I got one of these. This is a electric rechargeable fan. It's got a clip. So I got this for the van. Hey guys, I'm Jake's fan. How you doing? Hey Jake, what's going on, man? Nothing, fan. He's got his own personality. It's funny. All right. So anyway, this is cool because you can recharge it with the phone charger deal. So it's the USB. I couldn't think of it. So you can recharge it with the USB cable. So you don't have to like plug it into a wall. You can plug it into a wall, but you can also do the USB cable right there in your car. So I can drive for, let's say 2, 3, 4 hours, charge it up, and then at night, got a fan. See? And this it's not too bad for a little electric fan. It's not wonderful, but it'll do the job, if I keep it nice and close to me. So I'll probably even get maybe another one of these. I wanted to get one and test it out, and it seems to do pretty good. So I could probably get even more of these. This was a cheapie. So these rechargeable fans are a game changer. Faith says math is weird. He gives me the creeps. So last stream I did a Where Are They Now? Math Powerland is deep in Mexico. He is now Math Power Clay, Math Power Mud. He rubs mud and clay on himself, and he claims that he has found the cure to aging, and now he is reverse aging. So apparently he's going to like turn back into a newborn. He's going to like do that Benjamin Button routine by rubbing mud and clay on himself. So if anyone ever wonders where Matt is, he's still around Math Powerland. He's still running streams. He's got terrible internet connection in Mexico, so his streams just glitch out. and are basically like non-watchable. But if you can piece together the little parts that do come through, Katie left him and tried to take the kid, but was unsuccessful. So Matt has the kid in Mexico and is trying to sell people clay and mud. And Katie's no longer in the picture. So there you go. Matt Powerland, where are they now? Steel Ninjas Gaming says, funny when you took the piss out of Fight the Flat Earth. You know, the funny thing was I hadn't thought about the guy or even looked and checked in on him in months. And then he sent me an email with like an article saying that he got arrested for beating up his neighbor. So apparently he got arrested for assaulting his neighbor. And he sent me the article. And he said, I'm lucky I didn't come to Scotland because I would have avoided an ass whipping, which is hilarious to think of, like Fight the Flat Earth Craig beating up anyone. So apparently his neighbor must have been in worse shape than he is. Maybe Craig hit him with a cane or something, but he got arrested for beating up his neighbor. So he sent me an email bragging, saying that I'm lucky that I didn't show up. I swear to God, this is true. He emailed me out of the blue to brag about being arrested for assault charges. And he's like, oh, I beat this guy up, and you're lucky you didn't come here to Scotland. Otherwise, I would have beat you up. It's like, Craig, you are physically unable to fight somebody like me. I even told you I would let you use your cane as a weapon. But the problem he would have is, even if he brings a cane as a weapon to the fight, I would take it from him and then beat him over the head with it. So it really wouldn't help him even if he used his cane as a weapon. So we went back and forth through email. He told me he would beat me up. And I said, bro, if I ever got my hands on you, I would disassemble your body in seconds. And I was like, and people would love to see it because you're such a piece of shit. People will cheer when they see you get your body disassembled by someone like me. I'm like, people will love to see something like that happen. But it won't happen because he's such a sissy. Anyway, so it went back and forth, and then I brought up Q and Fee, and I was like, hey, how come you haven't responded to Q and Fee's videos when he debunked you with his software? And he's like, who? Q and who? What's that? I'm like, Q and Fee, you know what I'm talking about. And he's like, I don't know who that is. So now he's pretending he doesn't know who Q and Fee is. So for those of you who followed me for a long time, you know I've done streams with Q and Fee, and he has modeling software where he can prove how the globe doesn't work. He can prove how the AE map doesn't work. So basically, he's proven all the models just don't work in one way or the other through his software, his modeling software. And Craig Fight the Flat Earth said he was going to make a video debunking Q and Fee like a year, 2 years ago, and he just hasn't done it. So through email, when we were going back and forth, I'm like, what about a Q and Fee video? How come you ain't got around to responding to Q and Fee's video? I got to see that. And he's like, who? I don't know who that is. What's a Q and Fee? Is that some sort of STD? It's like, oh, you're going to pretend you don't know who he is now. Fascinating. So, hey, Q and Fee, if you see this, Craig is pretending he doesn't know who you are. Yes, Q and Fee is funny. I hope he does some more content soon. Email's not my favorite form of communication, but it is one of those things. Like every once a week or so, I go through there. I get notifications from YouTube and stuff like that, and I get some stuff through email. But I have a ton of junk. That's a sad thing. Is like no matter what you do, somehow all these companies find your email, no matter what. and then you just get a bunch of junk mail. And even when I unsubscribe to it and try and block them, somehow they just resend me new shit. So it's always just a ton of shit. Yeah, email sucks, but there are a few subs who email me from time to time, and there's just random YouTube shit that I need to check or whatever. So yeah, I still use it, even though it sucks. Kat says, I was in Slab City before that. Then again last month. I hate the slabs. So many degenerates. The place is filthy, more like Slob City. I have heard mixed deal about Slab City. So some people, you know, who like living out of their vehicle and like being on the road and stuff like that, they don't mind it. But I've also heard that there's a shitload of meth use and heroin use out there, and nasty people and robberies and vehicle break-ins and just shit like that. And so it does. I've watched probably 10 documentaries on it and several YouTube videos. So if you guys ever want to see something fascinating, there's a section of California called Slab City out in the desert. So south and outside of like San Diego area in the southern part of the state, there's the desert area where the slabs of cement are, and they let people live out there for free. So there's no electricity or plumbing or anything out there, but there's a shitload of people who live out there for free off grid. But there's so many people that it's basically its own city, and they call it Slab City. And so the documentaries are highly entertaining, but actually going there and hanging out, like it's a place I'd visit for an hour and look around, but I don't think I really want to like go there and hang out, especially not in the summer. So here in the next month, I wouldn't want to be out in that desert. But I think you've also, Kat, you've also been to the Arizona campsites like Quartzsite in those areas that a shitload of people camp out. And it's like RVs, van life people, and campers from all over the world go to like those big rock shows and RV shows out like Quartzsite. And I've heard, my dad has told me a bunch about it, but I've never been to one. And she says, yes, Quartzsite is a lot better. So Kat is a van lifer, I think. So she lives out on the road. So I know, you know, from her experiences, she'll know good spots to camp and spots that suck, places that are more welcoming than others. There's certain areas in California where you can sleep in your vehicle absolutely no problem, and then there's other places where like camping is prohibited, and you'll get a ticket, and you'll get a knock, and so that's just, and that's in every state can be like that. So there's certain cities that are friendly to it. You can get away with sleeping in your vehicle in a random parking lot, and nobody gives a shit. And then there's other areas where like people call the cops on you. You know, like there's a van. Or cops will go around in a parking lot and shine their flashlights through the windows and shit. So I've had it all happen. The last van I was in was a big white van. It was a creepy white guy van. I shouldn't say white guy van. It was a big creepy white van. And it caused people to look at it and get concerned and call the police. So I had people call the police just by looking at the van. So then my current van now is a minivan, and it doesn't look nearly as creepy as the last one. So I'm confident that less people will call the cops on me. Fingers crossed, because it happened before. 4 a.m, get a bang on the side of the van, and it's a cop. I'm like, what? Someone called because there's a van. Someone called the cops because I own a van. Yeah. Can we just run your ID? Then you can go back to sleep, sir. I had a cop one night feel real bad, and he let me go. Like, just basically immediately. He ran my ID to make sure I didn't have any warrants, and then he totally let me go within like a minute. So I have had it happen, but it is an inconvenience at 4 a.m. It's hard to go right back to sleep right after that shit. And then one time at a park, when I was walking the dog at a park, and then when I got back in the van, I was on my phone and just sitting in the van for maybe an hour or whatever, just on my phone. and it was in a nice neighborhood at a park. And somebody called the cops because they saw a white van outside their house. So some cops came up behind me, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get out of my vehicle and approach them. That way they don't like want to. That way there's no searching my van. So I get out of the van and I walk up to the cop car and I'm like, "Can I help you?" And they're like, "Yeah, we got a call because of the van." Like, yeah, I walked my dog at this park, and I'm here parked, just looking at where I want to go next on my phone. Is there an issue? No, they were just concerned that maybe you were trying to steal stuff, and I'm like, dude, I literally own a van. Well, we get these type of calls from time to time. We can just check. Usually, they want to just check your ID and make sure you're clean, and then he wanted to be like, oh, do you have any weapons on you? And I didn't have shit on me, so I was like, look, dude, I'll let you pat me down, but after that, you guys don't have anything on me. I'm just a dude in a van. So I'm going to take my dog for another walk at this point. And they were like, okay. So then they split. But they do come bother you and see what's up. So it could have been a different story if I was in my vehicle smoking or whatever, and then they come up on me and then they're like, oh, you're driving while intoxicated or some shit. See, so you can find yourself in an issue with somebody calling the cops on you just because you own a van. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that because it's a minivan that I have now that looks way less suspicious, that hopefully these losers who called the cops on me don't do stuff like that. And you have to be an absolute piece of shit loser if you call the cops on someone because they own a van. If you're the type of person who calls 911 because you see a van, you're a piece of shit. If you call 911 over anything that's not really an emergency, you're a piece of shit. And I know you guys aren't the type of people to do that. I know my audience isn't the type who would do that. I'm just saying the people who do shit like that. 911? There's a guy and he's parked in a van. And I think I saw a dead body in the front seat. I heard a lady screaming. I'm an anonymous caller who's concerned. Bye. That's all they have to do. And then the cops are required to come mess with you. Such horse shit. So when they do, I always make them feel extra guilty. Yeah, my vehicle now, the Sienna, is completely a soccer mom vehicle. So I'm hoping, like I say, to not get the knock ever again. Oh, speaking of that, I also made custom what's it called? Window blockers, which was a pain in the ass because windows are not easy to measure and cut out a piece of cardboard to fit just that. So I used cardboard and some poster board to make these custom window blockers, and then I put up a curtain, so I'll be nice and blacked out inside the van. Nobody will be able to peek in. Oh, and I splurged on a new mattress. So I got electric fan now. Since the video that I posted of the van, I have the electric fan, curtains, blackout window blockers, and a new mattress. So things are coming together. Oh no, I don't need I don't like them to be too tinted because I just block them out at night. Just block them out completely. And then I have a curtain for behind the seats. See what I'm saying? So right behind the front two seats, I'll have a curtain going across, and then I have window blockers in the back. They're just cardboard, and I can just shove them up there, and they stay in place. And then you can't see in at all. I use a black poster board. So I bought poster board, and then I just took cardboard, and then I put the black poster board on top of the cardboard, to where like I can shove it into the window and it just fits in there just right to where it takes up the whole window and it stays in place. It was a pain in the ass. It took me hours to make them and get them right because the windows are a weird shape, and so you have to like take a little off the bottom, a little off the side, and then like try and the measurements are rough because you need it to be a little bigger than it is to get it to stay in place when you shove it up there. So anyway, I finally got the window covers done, put the curtains up, electric fan, new mattress. Literally all I need to do is pack it up and take off. Only issue is this shit right here. Which way to go, bro? Which way to go? Which way to go? And which places do I not go to and skip? It's a hard decision. Put yourself in the middle of California and you're going to go across the United States. If you go south, it's going to get hot as fuck when you're down here. And then when you get down into this area, it's going to get muggy, humid and muggy. But once we get into June. So then if you go north first, it's nice, but then there's hardly any big cities to stop at or anything along all this whole. There's like a 1,000-mile stretch here of just small, tiny towns, and there's not enough subscribers for me to stop and do like a meetup. There'd only be a couple here, maybe, all the way until I get over here into Minnesota. And if I go across the middle of the country, there's some big cities to hit. Denver, KC. But then I did that last time. So I went to these cities last time and I skipped the top part of the country and I skipped deep down south over here. So I don't want to do the same exact trip I did last time. But at the same time, there were some really nice places that I hit and there's people who want me to come back. So I'm not opposed to coming back to some of the places that I went to last time. JL says Virginia weather ain't bad. Just saying. That's a state I haven't been to. So that's another one I could check off the list. Yeah, and then final destination, I have to cut back to California. So it makes sense to do a loop. Like I said, now it's just like if I do a loop, I got to cut out a certain section of the country. So trying to hit every major city is just not going to be doable. Conspiracy Cracker says hit Rochester instead of Buffalo this time. Yeah, see, I'm not in a hurry to go back to Buffalo because last time I was there, I went to the Niagara Falls and I saw that already. And that's not really a thing that I want to go back and see. And then the rest of the city was just kind of like whatever. And there was only like 7 or 8 people who showed up to my meetup out there. So there wasn't that many subs up there. There were some, but there wasn't a ton. Whereas in, for instance, Toledo, Ohio, I had like 30 people show up. So certain cities, there's like way more subs to show up than others. See, I did Toledo, and so people came from all over Ohio to meet me. And then at the Chicago meetup, people from Minnesota and Michigan drove out to the Chicago meetup. So people, if I come within an hour or two of your city, there's a chance that you might do a little traveling to come meet me. Because like I said, I can't hit every single city. Bean Dean, I wish. See, last time I went across the country, I had a few ladies that definitely wanted me to roll through, and I had some options open to me. But this time, it's not quite like last time. You never know what can happen when you show up to a new place, and you never know who you might meet or what might happen. But last time, I will say that my options were different than they are now. Oh, we got a Modest in here, K-Wit. Did you start watching the channel like recently, or did you know me from Modesto before I got on YouTube? Just wondering. Like, have you met me in Modesto? Are you someone I know, or do you just happen to be from Modesto and I've never met you? It is a big enough town that it is possible that I don't know you. I-70 will get you KC, St. Louis, Indianapolis, Columbus, Pittsburgh. Yeah, see, I could do that route, but then then it's like, is that my way back? Well, then I got to cut out the South because this Kansas City's in the middle. So, or I got to cut out the North. So, see what I'm saying? So if I take that route on the way there or on the way back, then that means I got to cut out another section of the country. You see what I'm saying? So it's like inevitable. One part of the map I got to kind of, because otherwise to try and zigzag up and down is going to take too long, be too much driving, and be too costly. K-Wit says years ago. So I have met you. Well, like Queen Bean open mic, or like the karaoke bar or something. JE says, dude, you need to go to Duluth, Minnesota, right off the edge of Lake Superior. I'd love to meet up with you and expose the fake corporations. Love you, dude. Yeah, I've never been up there. I've never even been to that state, period. So it would all be new to me. And I hear there's some really nice places up there to hike and fish and stuff. I don't know if this is supposed to be like comedy or an actual question, but no, I'm not going to visit any PSYOP memorials. So any person related to any sort of gigantic PSYOP, no, I have no interest in visiting anything about that or anything related to it. Is that so, Benjamin? I guess I might have to test it and find out. Okay, what says actually from Merced, but I know you're from Modesto. Oh, yeah, Merced sucks, man. That's like isolated out there. Yeah, Merced sucks. All the middle of California sucks. Every single valley town sucks. And so I've had a lot of people in Pennsylvania ask me to roll through. And my thing is like I drove through Philadelphia and I had no desire to want to get out and do anything there. It looked nasty. It was like the type of city where I was like, ugh. So nothing against anyone who lives in the Philadelphia area, but I drove through that on the last time and I had no desire to stop and do a meetup there. So if I was going to roll through Pennsylvania, I wouldn't really want to visit either of those big cities there because from what I hear, they're just nasty. In my own personal experience driving through Philly, it was not nice. And that was just me driving through. Now, maybe on the outskirts of those places where some people who have money live, if there's like a nice park or nice town, then that's different. So every major city also has an upscale area where the people with money live. And if you can find a nice restaurant, park, wherever, in a nice area uh, that's still within traveling distance of the major city, see, I can make something like that work. So I'm not opposed to doing something in a nice suburb area on the outskirts of a shit city. I just don't want to visit the middle of the shit city so much. And it's like not conducive to van life stuff that much. I don't like having to park the van and try and sleep at night in a hustle and bustling city. So I prefer to try to find more quiet areas on the outskirts of town if I'm going to stay in the van. Oh man, I've seen the videos of Kensington. If you've seen the videos here on YouTube of Kensington, that is like the Walking Dead zombie land. Scary. I know not all of Philadelphia looks like that, but still, like that area, it literally looks like the worst thing in the country. Here's something that's crazy. I don't know like what causes it as far as like fentanyl, meth, or whatever. I don't know what does it, but I see these people. They're like this. Have you seen this? They're like bent over, and they look like they're almost frozen. And then they'll like be trying to touch something on the ground, or they're like bent over, like messing with their something like their feet or their shoes or something on the ground, and they're like stuck in zombie mode like this. So if you watch a Kensington video, there's always these people hunched over, like younger, even the younger people, and they're always like doing some zombie shit while hunched. So I don't know what chemical reaction causes them to hunch over, but I noticed like in all the Kensington videos, there's this weird hunching uh thing. Like almost like they try to go to sleep but stay standing up. It's so weird. Leslie says doing the junkie shuffle. Oh yeah, I think Zach was in here earlier. I blocked like 5 of his accounts last time, and so now he shows up like a loser hater every time I go live, and then he uses different accounts to insult me. So if you see someone just openly insulting me, it's most likely Zach or whoever. Then just get rid of them. In fact, here I'll pull one up just for reference. I'll pull up a Kensington video. Damn it. This is what I'm talking about. The bent over thing. I swear, like I saw this over and over in every Kensington video, basically any nasty hood video. The bent over thing. See? So there's something weird about this drug that causes people to get infatuated with their feet in the ground and shit on the ground and just bend over and zonk out like that. This is Philadelphia, Andy. So pay attention for how many people we see in this video just bending down. And I've never watched this video, but there's thousands of videos online that people post from Kensington just to show how bad it is. And they always get tons of views because apparently people like to watch videos of how bad it is in terrible places. Look at this lady just throwing her hands around like a crazy clown lady. Oh, look. See, look, here's another one. See? Look at this. What in the hell causes that? People have said shit about me and made things up about me and been like, Jake's on drugs. He's strung out on drugs because I'm like animated and there's certain times where I can appear like I'm hopped up. But like, look at this shit. You ain't never seen me looking like that or acting like that. What in the hell is that going on there? Holy cow. Yeah, total Michael Jackson Thriller. Yeah, they could use a cheesesteak for sure. Oh. Wonderful place, huh? What a wonderful life. So there's one of these basically in every major city, but Kensington is considered to be one of the worst. Yeah, it's sad. But here's the thing is there's a lot of really nice places, in these states that also have a shit city. So here in California, people will talk shit about the homelessness and the shittiness and stuff, but right outside of the big cities, it can be really beautiful. No bums, no crime. So, for instance, I live in California, and I can head to areas right outside of the city, outside of Sacramento, and be in the mountains where there's no bums and no crime. And then I can go to some little tiny ocean towns where it's really nice, where there's hardly any bums. So it can all depend. And then there's areas like in Los Angeles, Oakland, San Francisco, where there's homeless encampments that are gigantic, and it looks like worse than a third world country. So you can have some of the worst places imaginable that exist in a state, but then there's also some beautiful areas in that state to where it's hard to say that a state sucks, especially if you just are basing it off of just like one nasty area. Because I know Philadelphia, like what I just showed, that's a trash hole. But Pennsylvania as a state, if you got out and explored, I'll bet you there's some, really nice areas to visit. where life is completely different. But you got to have money, of course. Go back to the map for a second. Okay, so for instance, the state where I live in is gigantic. It goes from way up here all the way down to Mexico, down here. So when people are like, bro, you need to get out of California, it's like, dude, California is so big. There's some areas that are so nice that there's nothing like it anywhere else in the country. And there's such a vast diversity of land and places to go, different climates and different types of people, that you can't really even consider it one state, because it's more like 4 or 5 states put together, this thing. So I can show you Skid Row in Los Angeles that looks like Kensington, Philadelphia. I can show you areas of Oakland where there's gigantic homeless encampments over here next to San Francisco, and it's nasty, terrible. But then if you were to just head north over up here, you can be out on the beach by yourself and not even see another person around. Right? Look at this. So look at all this unused land. All this unused land. All these little tiny towns. These are little teeny weeny towns. All this area right here, hardly anyone lives up here. There's beaches that if you drove out here, if you took these little roads and went out here to the beach, you could get naked and walk around and you won't see anyone else for miles. So people think, like, in their head, California is like all cities and tons of people out on the beach all the time. It's like, oh no. If you travel and you go up north, there ain't nobody out here. Ain't fucking no one. Like I said, you could go on a walk out on the beach here and not see anyone in either direction. See what I'm saying? So imagine looking out over a cliff, and as far as you can see in both directions, no homes, no people. It's California. Pristine oceanside land. Nobody lives there. No bums, no crime, nobody. Just beautiful oceanside property just sitting there. And so if you've never been to California, or if you've only been to a big city, just this state where I live, it gets a bad rap on a lot of shit. But if you get out of the cities and go to some nice areas, it's an entirely different thing. It's a whole different world than what you see on TV or hear about. And then likewise, if I was to go the opposite direction over into the forest over here, now look, right? This is California. Where are the bums? Where's the trash? Where's the shit? People tell me, Jake, you got to get out of California. I'm like, really? Telling me I should leave all this behind? Where's the bums? Where's the needles? Look, you see all that land? It's not being used. No one lives there. It just sits there. So a lot of people in their head who don't go to California, never even been, will be like, dude, you got to get out of there. And I'm like, where do you live? And they're like, I live in Oklahoma, or I live in Kansas, or Missouri, or Iowa, or wherever. I'm like, dude, your state sucks 10 times worse than my state. Why are you telling me to leave a beautiful place to come to some nasty shit state just because you live there? So my state gets a bad rap, but it's literally more beautiful than all the other states. Not kidding, it really is. This is just one little set of pictures that I'm clicking on here. Look at that lake. Where's the boats? Where's the houses? Where's the bums? Where's the gangbangers? Oh yeah, they don't live there. Nobody lives there. That's just sitting there for nobody to use. And the people who do live out in these areas are not lefties. Generally, the people who live up in the mountains and shit, up in these little mountain towns and whatnot, total conservatives, gun owners. Nothing like the people who live in Los Angeles. So this state that I live in is like all the states in one, basically. Right? So this is right here. The forest I just showed you right here. In a 2-hour drive, I can be in that from that forest. Then I can go over here to the coast. Let's say Crab Park. Never been to Crab Park, I don't think. Maybe I'll have to check that out. I would be at Crab Park, and now I'm here. See? So what other state can you go from the mountains to the ocean in just real quick drive, change complete scenery? Look, this looks like a really nice place to visit. Jellyfish, crabs, cows, rocks, wood that look like cool shit. You don't have this in Iowa or Illinois or Kansas. Any of those states in the middle of the country, you don't have anything like this. And so that's one reason why it's hard for me to leave California behind, is because there's a lot of beautiful, awesome places. So just me leaving and going across the country, I'm like, shit. A lot of these states I don't even want to go to because they don't have anything nice. They pretty much suck. And the best thing they do have is nowhere near as nice as where I'm from. So, yeah, I just wanted to show you guys just my state real quick because a lot of people talk smack about California. And I'm telling you, like up this whole northern part of the state, there's nobody there, man. There's hardly anyone except for National Forest. El Dorado National Forest. That looks beautiful. Mendocino National Forest. This is really nice. Shit. Try and tell me you wouldn't want to hang out in Mendocino National Forest. Look at that. That's where they grow a shitload of pot. So all the best pot in California is all the best outdoor is growing up in this area. Yeah. See? So I come from a very, very beautiful state, and people from shit states talk shit about my state. So I just want to show you guys, like, if you go to a hood, whether it's in California or Philadelphia or any major city, if you go to their hood, it's going to be a trash hole. But if you get outside and you see what sort of nature the state has to offer, oh, it's a whole different story. Okay, someone's calling me a Fed. You know that's an instant way to get banned Explain why I'm a Fed right now. And if you're not kidding, be ready to get banned. What's this Jake knows about pot? Are you kidding? You better be kidding. Because Zach Hubbard and his cronies show up over here to call me a Fed. No, Andy, it's not cheap. That's the problem. The cost of living in California is through the roof. Fuel's more expensive. Food costs are everything. It's expensive as hell. But you know, if you want to go to the ocean or the redwoods or any of those forests, that's where it's at. Yosemite National Park, natural hot springs. California's got the natural hot springs that come out of the ground, you know, where you can sit, you know, with a pristine view of the river and the mountains in a hot tub of mineral water. Not every state has stuff like that. So there's a lot of beautiful stuff to be seen and done in my state. So much so that even I haven't done it all. I've been here most of my life. But yes, the cost of living is through the roof. So here's the deal. The cost of living goes down the shittier the state is. So in like the worst part of like Indiana, where no one wants to live, like Gary, Indiana, you can buy a house for $50,000. But do you want to live in Gary, Indiana? I don't. I've seen on Nick Johnson's channel, he basically just does reviews of every state and every major town and what it's like to live in everywhere in the United States. And so I get to see what it's like in some places that I haven't been and see if it's even something that I want to go, if it's even a place I even want to pass through. And there's plenty of places that I'm like, yeah, I just don't see any reason why I need to ever go there. If I was given a bunch of money or whatever, somebody like wanted to give me a nice ass house and money, I guess I could live there, but I wouldn't want to live there just because. There's nothing about Oklahoma that I want to go there right now and live. So that's what I'm saying. The cost of living in the shittier places that no one really wants to live is cheap. But that's because no one really wants to live there. And I don't like brutal winters. So I'm not a winter guy. Here in California, you can go up the mountain and visit the snow, go skiing, but you can also go down the mountain and never see snow in your life if you don't want to. So in California, you have the choice whether you want snow or whether you don't want snow. Whereas in other states, you don't have a choice. You're going to get snow and it's going to be cold and frigid and nasty for like 5 months. And I don't do that. I don't like cold and frigid and nasty unless I'm visiting the snow for like a day, driving through it, gonna go skiing for the day or whatever. That's fine. But like living in it for 5 long, hard months, I don't know how you people do it. Way up north, I don't know how the hell you people do it. Shovel a foot or two of snow off your car and scrape the windshield off and all that shit. No way. That sucks. Yeah, see, the only reason I know about stuff like Gary, Indiana, like stuff like that, is because Nick Johnson's channel. He just shows like what it's like to live and what it's like to visit basically every place. And so he's done all 50 states and many of the cities in all the 50 states, like what it's like to live there and what the people are like. And so it amazes me how like he'll show one area where rich people live and it's like homes here are going for 1.3 million on average. You can't afford to live here unless you have a good job. And then other towns, he's like, you can get a 2-story home for $50,000, but you're also going to live in Gary, Indiana, where there's nothing to do and it sucks. Oh, so torn. I've been to Vegas a bunch of times. I've been to Phoenix. I've been to New Mexico. I've been to Texas. I've been through the South. So doing a route through the South, I'm I'm revisiting, but I'm not seeing anything new. If I go north, I've never been to Washington State, so that's something new. I've never been to the Dakotas. That would be new. I've never been to Minnesota or Michigan. And I've never been up here to this section of the country, to Maine or Vermont or New Hampshire or any of these little states over here. Never been to any of those. So a part of me wants to see new stuff, but it's going to come at the expense of having to cut certain areas out. Yeah, see, I don't like cold. But see, that's why I didn't want to go out on a trip, you know, until the weather warmed up. So now the weather's warming up. Right now is about the best time, and then in another month it's going to be hot everywhere. And my main thing is I don't want to be out on the road in July in a state where it's hot in every direction and I can't escape it, and it's nasty and muggy and can't sleep or whatever. So I kind of want to avoid the sweltering, muggy conditions of July and August. So I'm thinking if I go out on the road from May all the way through June, that'll give me a little over a month, maybe a month and a week, month and 2 weeks to do a big loop. OJ and Toothpaste asked if I still hate Zach Hubbard. Well, let's see. Did he recently become not a scammer? Has he stopped scamming people? Did he like stop selling losing picks? Did he admit he was a liar and scammer and say he's going to quit doing that? Oh, he hasn't? Well, then yes, I still hate him. Still think he's a piece of shit. Nothing's changed since last week when he invaded my chat with all his sock accounts and then his own actual account. So, yeah, I can't say that I've begun to love him since last week. JM, I've heard a lot of good things about Tennessee as long as you stay out of Memphis. So I drove through it a long time ago. When I left Georgia and moved back to California, I drove through it. Me and my mom were out on the road when we were moving. We drove across, went through there. So I didn't spend any time in Tennessee. And I know there's a lot of great fishing and hunting and outdoor stuff, but I have heard places like Memphis absolutely are terrible. But I hear Nashville's got like a kick-ass music scene, like country and stuff like that, and that there's a lot of cool bars and breweries and stuff. So I know there's going to be a shit side to Nashville, but I also have heard that there's a really nice side to Nashville where the nightlife's really cool. So some cities do have really vibrant nightlife where I wouldn't mind, you know, setting up a subscriber meetup at a place where we can grab a drink and hang out or whatever. Faith says Arkansas is severely underrated as well. That's debatable. I only went there once, and I visited the Bentonville area. I had family who lived there, and was not impressed at all. Now, granted, I was a teenager and I didn't go exploring the whole state, but the Bentonville area was not exciting whatsoever. And then on Nick Johnson's channel, he recently showed some really bad areas of Arkansas that doesn't look like anywhere I'd want to visit. So I guess it really depends on where you go. See, I like a lot of the small town charm. So when you get outside the big cities, there's some small towns that are really nice and have the small time charm, the old style downtown where the stores look like they were from the 50s and 60s still and stuff like that. But there's also some towns that got hit by um, by the economy real bad. And there's some areas that were just decimated, like when the local factory left town. So there's some small towns across the United States that are absolutely terrible and have no small town charm anymore because the job industry in that town left and the entire infrastructure of the whole town is crumbling. So because of Nick Johnson's channel, I've seen several nasty small towns that I wouldn't want to step foot in or even pass through because it just looks depressing as hell to see like an old shut down factory and an entire downtown area that is boarded up. And apparently that's happening more and more, across the country. And now you got Walmart, packing up and leaving. So Walmart comes into the communities, uh, smashes all the mom and pop businesses, puts them out of business. And now Walmarts are packing up and leaving towns. And now the towns are crushed. And it's not like the old mom and pops can just spring back up overnight and cash in or whatever. Like once a town's infrastructure and industry has been crushed, you can't just build it back up. So we're seeing a lot of smaller towns now get hit super hard by economic crisis. It's like I missed a super chat. Rapture Ready says, "Sup, Jake, playing any bass tonight for us?" I didn't have it set up and ready to go, and I haven't practiced anything, so I played on the last stream. I could pull up a video of me playing bass. That way I know it'll be good, but I haven't played anything today, so I would end up just like pulling out and probably playing the same damn thing I played last week or whatever. So maybe towards the end of this stream, I'll put on a video of me playing. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have noticed a lot of the big super chains that are in all the strip malls. Some of them are going under, and so you're starting to see now, like, oh yeah, remember that strip mall that put every single mom and pop shop out of business? Well, now the Best Buy left town, and the Walmart's going to leave town. So now you have a strip mall like with two businesses that leave, and all your mom and pops were destroyed a decade or more earlier when those businesses came to town. So now what do you got? So certain little towns are having to now drive 40, 50 miles to the next town to get their groceries. So a lot of those cities and towns where you can get a house for $50,000, it's usually because the town has been decimated and everyone's house is like deteriorating. Tim Peters says, Brainerd, Minnesota, let's go fishing. I love to fish. I just don't go as much as I'd like to go. It takes up a lot of time, and you really have to dedicate a lot of time and energy to it. And then gear is expensive, and then to do it legally and get a fishing license and stuff, it's expensive. And if you don't get one, then there's always that fear of like, you get busted that one time and then they write you a $500 ticket if you get busted once, So I don't fish as much as I'd like to, but I enjoy it. So if somebody had the tackle and the gear in a good spot and could set me up, I'd love to go. So it's one of those things where if somebody can be the guide, my fishing guide, and hook me up, fuck yeah. But like if I have to go figure out what the local fish like and then buy all the gear and like buy a Minnesota fishing license and then go find a spot and do it myself, yeah, chances are I'm not going to catch shit. Andy says, can you play your original Scott Kelly song? I could put that on. I'm not going to play it live because I haven't practiced and my bass isn't plugged in or anything. So for me to try to plug it in and pull it off live right now off the cuff, I just don't feel like it. But I could put it on. I'll play the Scott Kelly song tonight. How's that? Yeah, but you have to get one for each state. if I was to see what I'm saying, like that's like each state you have to get one, and then you have to get the tackle and you have in all the gear and stuff. And the travel there, you know, and then you have to like dedicate a lot of time to it. So I like fishing, but it's like something that requires a ton of time, and I just over the last several years haven't went as much as I'd like. YouTube last week sent me a notification saying that they age restricted my Joe Biden song, the Joe Biden Loves to Touch Little Children song, that it's 18 plus. And so I appealed it and I said, all those clips of Joe Biden touching children are on the news. I made a song about Joe Biden and I used the clips from the news. So how can you make my footage that I took from the news age restricted if that footage isn't? I basically put, I didn't think it was going to work, but then they said, good news, after reviewing your video, it doesn't violate any of our standards, and so we made your video viewable for all ages. So they basically tried to smack me with an 18 plus on my song, and then when I appealed it, I was like, yeah, why? That's stupid, screw you. And they're like, okay, never mind, it's okay. Then they took the age restriction away, so now it's back to all ages. Joe Biden touching children. OJ, bro, stop asking about shills. I don't like any of them. There's none of them that I like. So it's like the third, fourth guy that you're bringing up now. I don't like any of them. Yeah, it was an AI decision. AI was like, we're going to restrict your video. And then I just appealed it and was like, it's literally footage from the news. The news isn't 18 plus. I didn't personally take videos of Joe Biden touching kids. That's out there in the public domain. So how are you going to age restrict content that's already available in the public domain and also here on YouTube that's also not age restricted? I put it in a certain way, or I was being kind of a dick, and they actually, like, within one day they switched it and made it back to all ages. So whenever they send me a email, it's always like, hi, Jake the asshole. Good news, Jake the asshole. We reinstated your video, Jake the asshole. Yeah, I know you're usually a good guy who donates and is a good subscriber here, participant in chat. And so I was wondering why you kept bringing up all the damn shills. You just want me to talk shit about them. I get it. Yeah, Alex Stein is basically at this point a cross-dresser. He's basically a drag queen. And there's people who are like, oh, he's funny, and he's taking the piss out of the libtards with his act. No, he's a cross-dresser. He literally now is a drag queen. I've seen him put on like a woman's bathing suit and then go act like a total flamer bottom on purpose. And people are like, oh, haha, so funny. He's taking the piss out of the liberals by acting like a liberal. No, that's who he is. He is a cross-dresser who enjoys dressing up and acting like a flamer bottom. He enjoys that character so much so, and it's part of their agenda to push that shit on you, while even simultaneously tricking you and making it seem like he's against it. So he'll make it seem like he's against the groomers and whatnot, the elites. But then he turns around and wears a woman's bathing suit and basically participates in the Illuminati dress-wearing ritual right in front of your very eyes. Oh, but he's funny. He's a comedian. Yeah. Don't they always want the mainstream comedian to wear a dress? Isn't that what they usually want? Mainstream comedian, put on a dress. Oh, you're funny? You know what'll be extra funny is if you put on a woman's bathing suit that goes up your ass crack and act like a flaming bottom. That'll totally get the libs going. Yeah, they won't like that at all. Conservatives will love that. Yes, he's a shrimp on a dick eating shit. I tell you, put on a dang time. I'm a ground on a dang time on a dang night on a ground time style on the night outside time. Look at me, I'm true that. I'm gonna go on Alex Jones' show and sell boner pills. I'm true that. You want to see me act like a power bottom in a girl's bathing suit? I am a man and a woman put together. And then my boyfriend got my girlfriend pregnant and they want to have an abortion, but I don't think they should be able to. We should be able to do home abortions. Pimple and eating shrimp. Oh, so good. He deserves to go viral. Oh, let's put him on TV. Oh, gee, did he get to go on Tucker Carlson's show? Did he get to go on InfoWars? What does that tell you? Jonna likes it. Glad to see you're still here and enjoying the stream. You know who I haven't seen? I haven't seen Rose tonight. She's usually here every stream. This is like one of the rare streams where I haven't seen Rose. Was she here at all tonight, or is she missing in action? No, not Rose 777. Oddly enough, I jumped on Telegram for like a day, and then I got messages from people like who are shills who somehow had my number, and they started messaging me. It was so weird. Like within a minute of being on Telegram, I got a message from Rose 777 asking like how I'm doing and this and that. I'm like, I don't talk to you. Why are you talking to me? You're a shill. I decimated your entire crew. I put the Baby Truther show out of existence. Like, why are you messaging me? And then she's like, I don't like the Baby Truther show either. I don't like Jaron either. I don't like Dave Weiss either. I don't like those guys. They tricked me. Me. I'm like, I don't believe you. She's like, I'm a dying cripple. Please talk to me. I'm like, no, thank you. I jumped off of. Oh, yeah. And then another guy, Brian Andrew Grossman, who says that I'm a juicy shill. You know, he that's his like main talking point. He also showed up on Telegram and was cussing me out, infuriated by my existence. Hold on, let me find a. Yeah. Tell me that this isn't a cross-dresser. This isn't a comedy routine. This is a cross-dressing routine. So let's go watch Alex Stein do his really funny cross-dressing routine that we're all supposed to think is him taking the piss out of the left. So yeah, this guy's totally against the left. He's totally doing all this comedy because he is against it, right?
I want to make my own rules. I swim wherever I want. You can't stop this swimming. I find my own pool. You can't stop me. Berkeley. They're not letting me swim on the women's team. They're trying to stop me from swimming. Oh, dude, fuck off. What?
Yeah, this ain't comedy. In my opinion, that's like the lowest version of comedy that there is. Like, put on a woman's bathing suit and bother that dude right there. Did you notice what that dude just said? What did that guy just tell him to do? What does the guy tell him to do? And this is what I would tell him to do. And if he didn't do it, I would forcibly make him fuck off.
I'm on the women's team. They're trying to stop me from swimming. Oh, dude, fuck off. What? Berkeley. They're not letting me swim on the women's team. They're trying to stop me from swimming. Oh, dude, fuck off.
Yeah, that's what I would tell him too. And then if he didn't proceed to fuck off, I would make him fuck off. And he's a much taller man than me, but not intimidating in the least, especially when he's wearing something like that. Now, so people out there will think, oh, this is funny comedy. Funny comedian puts on ladies' bathing suit and says that they're going to swim for the women's team. So how does this change the world for the better? What does this fix? How does this take the piss out of the libs? You think this takes the piss out of the libs and causes them not to be libs anymore? And it really gets their goat to see him dressed like a woman bothering this dude here? So this guy right here trying to do some street performing probably only makes, a very meager amount. And here you have Alex Stein going to bother this poor dude who was just sitting there minding his own business, playing his own shit. And now you got homeboy like gonna put him on a video and mock him in a woman's bathing suit. And the dude clearly doesn't want any part of it. So this is like why I don't understand how anyone ever followed this gimp in the first place. And like they don't see what I see. Like I don't see a comedian. I don't see something that's actually funny. I know what comedy is. I am the funniest person who ever existed. If I want to turn on the funny business, I can turn it on and turn it off like a damn switch at my disposal. This guy has to put on women's clothes and then bother people. He's not funny. You know why he's not funny? He can't turn it on and off like I can. I can turn on the funny bones and turn them off whenever I want because I'm funny. I'm talented. I'm actually a real comedian. This guy can't just be funny. What he does when he's standing there without anyone to help him or without any props or without him wearing women's clothes, he tells you he's Alex Stein, he's Primetime 99, and he's on the grind all the time. That's all he's got. He tells you his name. He tells you he's on the grind all the time. Primetime 99. That's the extent of what he has to say. That's the extent of like all his character right there. That's it. So the only thing his character can do to get cheap laughs, wear a woman's bathing suit and bother people. So if that's your form of comedy, well, I guess you and I just disagree on what we think is funny. And I'm right and you're wrong. Because this shit ain't funny. Rapture Ready says, oh, that's hilarious. This guy actually has followers. His videos aren't going as viral as they were, but when he first started doing this, he was going viral to the point where they put him on television. That's how you know he's a shill. They put him on Tucker Carlson's show, so he got a bump of views from that. And then he did InfoWars, and he sold Alex Jones boner pills. Literally sold Alex Jones male vitality pills, promoted them, said that it made him as hard as Chinese arithmetic. He said, Alex Jones boner pills make me as hard as Chinese arithmetic. Some shit like that. So he promoted lab-made chemicals coming out of the InfoWars crew, Alex Jones, who we all know is a shill. He was on Tucker Carlson. And this is what got him popular, is doing shit like this.
What? I know, but is that
I don't want to hear your bullshit.
But why won't they let me swim on the women's team?
You're being an asshole, bro.
How? Is Leah Thomas an asshole?
You are being an asshole.
How do you figure?
I don't want to fucking engage with you, bro.
Why not?
On this issue because it's
Why not?
fucking stupid.
It is kind of dumb.
No, you're making.
So you take an issue like men competing in women's sports, right? And we know that's going on. And is it an issue? Is it like a slap in the face to real women when a dude shows up and dominates? Yeah, but this isn't how you fix it. This doesn't fix the problem at all. And that guy right there has nothing to do with the atrocity of men competing in women's sports and annihilating them. That dude busking on the bench, he's literally saying, Alex Stein, leave me alone. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want anything to do with you. Bro, get the hell away from me. And he won't leave him alone. That's not comedy. In fact, it makes me mad. Like, I'm agitated. Like, I swear I would have not reacted as nicely as that guy. You would have seen the nasty, mean side of me come out real fast if that was me. If he would have approached me and I would have said, dude, fuck off, and then he wouldn't have, I would have forced him to fuck off real fast, and I would have backed him down physically. Even though I'm a smaller man, he's like 6'4", and I'm only 5'7". You would have seen a 5'7" man back Alex down real fast. Real fast. So this guy right here on the bench, he's being really nice. Being a really nice dude. And he's putting up with a lot of shit right here. Have somebody, a full-grown man in a woman's bathing suit come up and bother you like that when you ain't fucking trying to be about it, and then not leave you alone when you say, leave me alone. So my thing is, if you're against men competing in women's sports, there's better ways to voice your displeasure than dressing up in a woman's bathing suit and bothering random street musicians. Yeah, I don't know how this guy has so many subscribers and why people think this is funny. I really don't. Like I said, I'm agitated just looking at it.
At a fucking issue. Like, dude, you're being offensive is what I'm trying to
How
say.
is this offensive? I'm trans. How is this
You're
offensive?
not trans, dude.
How can you tell me that I'm not trans? Well, I'm trans.
Are you really? Just because you're wearing a fucking
women's swimsuit. That's what I'm saying. See, this
Dude,
is
get
the
out of my face, bro.
This
please.
is the problem,
Please,
guys.
Get out of my face.
No trans acceptance on campus.
Fuck off, bro.
Should I be able to swim against the ladies?
I think you do whatever you like to do.
So I can swim.
Your
Do
lifestyle.
you smoke weed?
Occasionally.
What about anything harder? No, you don't ever take a little hit of fentanyl.
Just bothering people. Yeah, so I don't understand what anyone ever saw in this guy or how he ever got popular in the first place. I think even the general public should be getting sick of this guy by now. And it looks as though they are. Pimp on a Blimp ain't getting the same view. Look, 13,000, 42, 8.4, 18. See, he was getting these big views, 120,000. He was getting hundreds of thousands of views. Now suddenly, it's as if people are finally starting to get tired of his shit. Not going viral on the last several videos. Nobody talking about him so much anymore. Good. Hope you fade away, you damn juicy shill. Sayonara, Pimp on a Blimp. I think doing comedy with the public can be funny. And I have done some of that myself. I've went out in public and done some stuff. Not so much recently, but I have in the past on my channel. But there's a certain way you got to go about doing it. And in my opinion, that right there, like pick a dude who doesn't want anything to do with you and force him to engage with you. Like, why not go find some like libs who are like protesting like against against abortion, and then like specifically target them or something. No, he goes after the random dude on a bench. Yeah, Stein pushed not only veganism, but he pushed fast food veganism. So before he went viral doing that crap that I just showed you, he was doing fast food reviews for Impossible Burger. I'm gonna eat an Impossible Burger at Burger King. I'm Alex Stein, I Burger King. I'm gonna eat an Impossible Burger. That's good. You should buy Impossible Burger. That's what he was doing. And they were like you can tell the people in charge when they pick these characters, they're like, oh, this guy's a total flamer bottom who will bend over and do anything for attention. If we just give this guy even a smidge of attention and publicity, he'll literally blow everyone in the room and bend over for everyone in the room. From now to eternity, he'll be an eternal bend over bottom whenever you need him to. So imagine the sick old men who run this place and who they pick and choose to carry out these dirty deeds and why they pick and choose them. Gee, why do you think they picked Alex? Seems that he's such an attention whore. He cares more about attention than money, it seems. If you like, put him on the news with Tucker Carlson. Oh, that guy right there, he'd probably off his own mother to be on Tucker Carlson. Oh, wait, she already died. Sorry. Yeah, he didn't bring up the flat earth at all once he made it to InfoWars or Tucker Carlson. Not at all. In fact, the opposite. He said that he's not a flat earther. He specifically said he wasn't a flat earther when asked about it. He didn't mention his buddies Jaron and Dave and how he was on the Baby Truther show with Jaron and Dave like a month before he was selling boner pills for Alex Jones and sitting next to Tucker Carlson. Y'all, to go from Baby Truther show with Jaron and Dave to Tucker Carlson and selling boner pills on behalf of Alex Jones, that's a significant step up the shill chain. They don't just give you that sort of a promotion for nothing. So there's something that he did. There's something that they saw in him that they decided to give him a promotion of a lifetime. Because I've been in this game a long time, and I haven't seen someone as low down the level to where they were a Baby Truther lackey doing fast food vegan reviews, and then 1 month later, they're on Tucker Carlson and selling boner pills on behalf of Alex Jones. Like, what? Huh? Naturally that occurred? So yeah, that promotion of Alex Stein is one of the biggest shill promotions I have ever seen in my entire time on YouTube. So I wonder what he did to make it up the chain that far. Yeah, I don't think he's money hungry. I think he's just so starved for attention that the offer of him being on television means more than $1 million. So he just seems like the type that wants to get as much attention as he can and shove that character down your throat, more so than buy a house and a fancy car and show off. See what I'm saying? John X says, hi, Jake. What's your miles to the gallon on new van? And how much do you anticipate your total gasoline bill will be for the tour? There's no way to know because I can't figure out exactly what route I'm going to take or how long I'm going to stay out on the road. So there's literally is impossible for me to figure out. I mean, I could maybe kind of figure it out, but it would be a very rough estimate because I haven't even figured out how long I want to stay or what route I want to take. And then when you get to the Midwest, fuel's cheaper, significantly cheaper in the Midwest. So I don't know, but I know it's not going to be cheap. So what I was thinking was I would do more streams. So while I'm out on the road, I'm going to do probably 2 to 3 streams a week. And I'll also be doing van life content. So once I'm going from place to place, I can film my adventures, turn those into videos. And then at night, I can stop in different places, maybe even get a hotel like once or twice in a month or something and do streams from a hotel spot. Or if I stay at a subscriber's place, I can do streams from there. Or I can stop at random places that have internet connection and do streams. But my thought is I'm going to try and recoup some expenses by doing these streams so I can bring in some super chats, donations, and whatnot. Keep the trip going. So my plan is to put out more content and do more streams once I'm out on the road. Right now, I haven't been putting out as much content because I feel like I can make more content when I'm out on the road visiting places than I can sitting here in the office. Because if I sit here in the office, I have to like look at some shit that happened in the mainstream news and tell you guys it's fake. And you've seen that a million times. So I'm really looking forward to making new content about adventures that I'm having in real life outside this office. So I can't wait to get out of this office, see something new, tape it, and then turn it into a video. Van life content does really well on YouTube, so I'm hoping I can possibly break through to some new viewers, maybe even get shown in some search results. That would be cool too. And van life videos are YouTube friendly, so I'm thinking since it'll be ad friendly, YouTube friendly, possibly I can get shown in search results, maybe get some new audience people coming through the van life shit. I'm going to outline what it's like to do van life for a big trip, but not have a big gigantic van. But see, there's van life channels who have way more subs than me, but their subs don't like want to meet them the same way. So I actually have subs who want to hang out and meet. Whereas there's other van lifers who all they do is live in a van. And that's all they're known for is living in a van. So their subscribers aren't as die hard to meet them. Whereas I have subscribers that have been watching me for years, as Jake the Asshole, Flat Earth Asshole, to where if I roll through town, they actually want to come hang out and meet me. Not just because I live in a van. So the other van life channels, like I said, like their whole channel is just based around where they're going, where they're stopping at. Whereas I can still do streams while I'm in the van and still talk about other subjects going on in the world and kind of intersperse that, my regular content, into my van shit. If that makes sense. So my van stuff will be different than all the other people doing it. So I will be able to compete in the new content section in the genre and have my own little niche and my own way of doing it. Scott Rusty passed away in December, so no, he won't be on the trip. Anyone who hasn't heard, that's the news, and I prefer if you don't bring it up because it is a very sensitive subject to me. David Yount says, WTF, I got to restart my shit. It keeps doing stupid shit. I don't know. No one else seems to be saying anything about it. It doesn't show any hookup or hiccups on my end. Oh, I see. You're asking if I'm going to get another dog to take on the trip. Okay. I didn't see the Rusty 2 part. I do kind of want another dog, but I'm just, I feel like I need to just go do my own thing without a dog right now. Like this trip, there's things I can do by myself, like park anywhere, not have to worry about a dog inside the vehicle. When you travel with a pet, it's a different experience. You have to do pit stops. You know, for a dog, you have to walk them. You can't leave them in the hot sun. So if you're going to leave them in the vehicle, it has to be a shaded spot. And even then, if it's hot, it still can be an issue. So traveling with a pet is a whole different experience than traveling alone. So now, for instance, if I want to like park the van in the hot ass sun and then go walk around a town all afternoon, I don't have to like hesitate or worry about the dog or anything. In any, spot I want to stay, if somebody says, "Hey, Jake, you can crash at my place," I don't have to inconvenience anyone by bringing a dog in or whatever. So it has its ups and it has its advantages not traveling with a pet. So I'm just going to enjoy the trip without a pet. But as far as wanting another dog, I have been feeling like eventually I need to get another one. Bubs Cat says, Jake, look for Mount 5X blocked comment in normal chat, please. Super chat won't let go through. Look for my 5X blocked comment in normal. I don't see it, man. Yeah, I just scrolled back. I see the other super chats that came in, but I don't see any others that I missed of yours. So if it didn't go through, then it didn't go through. I've heard that before. I don't know why. I might have to eventually use a different streaming deal. I hear Streamlabs has its own super chat thing that's separate from YouTube, so I'll have to look into that in the future. And I got a super chat from All That Glitters Is Gold. Says a shout out to the older viewers. Yeah, those of you who've been with me since the beginning, you'll remember I started the channel January 2016. In 2017, June of 2017, I spent the entire month on the road, and I went across the United States and set up at the time flat Earth meetups and met a lot of great people. And so to do another trip across the country 6 years later, I know there's going to be some of the same people who are probably going to show up, and I'm going to shake hands with people I haven't seen in 6 years. And then there's going to be entirely new people who I have never met before that are going to show up. And so knowing that when I go across, that I'm going to meet a lot of cool people who've been following me for a long time. It's an awesome feeling to know that I have friends and supporters across the country, across the world even, who even if I haven't met them yet, they're my friends who are waiting for me, and they're going to be there to keep me company and make me feel good when I show up, and I haven't even met them yet, and I know they're there waiting for me. So knowing that there's people out there wanting me to roll through their state, come through their town, and meet up is a cool feeling. Because like I said, not every YouTuber has actual fans and actual supporters. So there's channels with millions of subs, but they don't actually have subs that want to shake their hand and meet them, you know? Yeah, I would show some footage from my last trip, but every video has the dog, and I can't watch videos without breaking down. So I was thinking I was going to show some videos of the last trip, like a few clips and whatnot, but it's like inevitable. Okay, let me put on a music video, take a quick break. You guys can enjoy the music video.
Scott Kelly, he's a fucking liar. He's hanging around in a harness in front of a green screen. That bald fucking liar's never been in space. And you can see it written all over his blood red face. There are no satellites in space. NASA never went to the moon. There are no astronauts in space. So you assume there are no satellites in space. NASA never went to the moon. There is no space station in space. NASA never went to the moon. The image you see in the telescope, it might be a hologram. Have you ever heard of this thing called Project Bluebeam? Cause you'd be amazed what they're actually doing with all of our money. They're keeping us locked away from the land of milk and honey. There are no satellites in space. NASA never went to the moon. There are no astronauts in space. So you assume there are no satellites in space. NASA never went to the moon. There is no space station in space. NASA never went to the moon. You can't fool me, cause I'm too slick. You can't fool me, cause my mind's too quick. Bitch, so suck on my dick. Cause I'm not falling for your corny cartoons. Because I am not a well indoctrinated on no satellites in space. NASA never went to the moon. On no astronauts in space. So you assume on no satellites in space. NASA never went to the moon. There is no space station in space. NASA never went to the moon. No, they didn't. Not even fucking once, y'all. I said, yes, I never went to the moon. No, they didn't. Not even fucking once, y'all. I said, yes, I never went to the moon. To the moon. To the moon. Yes, I never went to the moon. To the moon. To the moon. Yes, I never went to the moon. To the moon. To the moon. Yes, I never went to the moon.
There you are. Now it sounds best if you go back on my channel and watch it. So whenever I show it on a live stream, the sound quality is never as good as if you watch it on your own. So if you like that song, I recommend you look it up here on my channel. No Satellites in Space. Put it in your rotation. Put it in your library on YouTube and bookmark it, whatever. And then rock it when you're out on the road. Like when you go for a drive, throw that one on. If you listen to it in your car stereo, I promise it sounds so good. So whenever I play it here in the stream, you're getting the shitty audio quality that's coming through live stream. So if you watch that on your own, it'll be better. But if you really want to hear like the funkiness of the bass and you really want to hear the depth of the song, put it on in your car stereo. And I swear, you're going to be thumping. You're going to be thumping and bumping.
You're gonna be hanging and banging, brother. We hung and bung on the Titanic, dude.
Yes, conspiracy music guru was brought out to be like the answer to Jake the asshole, flat Earth asshole. Flat Earth asshole. I was the first one to have an actual hit song circulate the scene with the flat Earth stuff. So then they brought in conspiracy music guru with his like countryish fucking NASA shit. I mean, they're decent songs, but he's not like a guy that anyone ever knew of as far as being like a content creator or truther or anything. He just showed up to do the music thing with a similar style of presenting the music video as me. But yeah, he was at he did the conferences and did the typical circuit with all the AE map flat earthers. Wouldn't surprise me if he was one of them, at the very least a useful idiot. ODD hasn't done anything in a long time. The guy's basically irrelevant. In my opinion, I think he's in jail or something. What else would he be? You got 300,000 subs and you don't do anything? And then when he does finally like say something, like the last thing he posted was like a long time ago in the community section that he was going to make a comeback in 2023, and 2022 wasn't his year, and he's been working 2 jobs to stay afloat. It's like, bro, you have a channel with 300,000 subs and you're working 2 shit jobs. Yeah, right. 300,000 subs, you can make a fat ton of money on YouTube with that many subs. So, in my opinion, that dude is probably behind bars. Can't say for sure, I don't know. But if he's just letting his channel just sit there and not do anything, my guess is he's behind bars. And the last thing he did do was a live stream, a set of live streams with shill-ass David Weiss and Hibbler. Shills of a feather flock together, y'all. That's all I gotta say about that. Yeah, the guy with the sex crime on his background was the one that was the popular rapper on the flat earth. And his raps were kind of shitty. Like they were okay, but they were very like just there was no flow to his rhymes. It was like NASA is fooling all of y'all because they told you Earth is a ball. Earth is not a ball. That's what I am telling you all. Like kind of rhymes like that. So he didn't have any sort of flow to any of his rhymes. It was always like NASA is lying to all of the sheeple, and that is because they are stupid people. Now I have to make up another rhyme that rhymes with people. So now I'll say steeple, creeple, huh? I don't know. Just never got into ODD rhymes. Then throw in the fact that he was a no good, dirty shill. There you go. In fact, I think I have some footage of ODD that maybe not everyone has seen. I think. In fact, if you go to my channel, I might have a video that I could maybe show now, since it's relevant to what we're talking about.
And I am back with Oddcast 2.0.
Yeah. Found it.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is ODD TV, and I am back with Oddcast 2.0. Actually, this would be 3.0, but the last one didn't work out, unfortunately, so I have it set up, but you guys are going to be very, very happy to know that I have not only the one and only Hibbler Productions on the panel, but deep inside the rabbit hole, David Wise is also on the panel, and it's us 3, and this is called Triple Truth Oddcast. Welcome to the Triple Truth Oddcast. ODD makes his quote-unquote triumphant return to sit next to a well-known scumbag scamming shill deep inside the rabbit's anus hole. This is the triumphant return of sex offender Matthew Purcell. Oh, excuse me, ODD. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Matthew Purcell, aka ODD, is a convicted sex offender.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is ODD, and or Matthew Procella, if you wish, but I prefer ODD. And I'm just going to address all the stuff going on with people hearing that ODD is a sex offender or or whatever. I'd like to say that it's not true, but 16 years ago, I got in trouble at a party when I was 17 years old I was groping on an older woman. She was 30 years old. I was 17. I was a little bit intoxicated, not to try to justify it or anything, but I was violating the personal space of this woman and I was trying to touch her inappropriately. And that's not a cool thing to do. It's not a cool thing to do. I fucked up. Here's the real deal. This is a real how do you say, law enforcement websites, and they have some information on my stuff. They have my real name. They have my real information. And the case the other picture we just saw stems from this case, which is actually a criminal attempt, second degree of sexual assault. Second degree attempt. That's because I was inappropriately touching on another woman, which I shouldn't have done that.
And for those of you who don't know, David Weiss, he likes to stick up for an actual
Richie from What's up, man? This is ODD. This video is for Jack the asshole, Jake the asshole, and Richie from Boston. I would like to formally invite you two, together or separately, to my show, The Oddcast.
No thanks, I'm good. I have zero interest in going on your terrible, shilly podcasts where you hang out with David Weiss and shill the flat earth tracking app Friend Finder. No thanks, hard pass. However, I don't speak for Richie from Boston, so maybe he'll take you up on the offer. But right now, I hear he's
running away from the Chinese drones. You need to get right with God. You need to get under your bed. You need to repent to Jesus. And if you don't get right with God, the Chinese drones are going to fly up your asshole and they're going to shoot you with plasma nuclear grenades.
I'd love to hash it out with you two because I hear that we have beef. I find it very strange when I find out that I have beef with somebody that I wasn't aware of months after the beef began.
Let me clear up some confusion for you, Mr. ODD Televizzle. We don't have quote-unquote beef. I just think you're a shill and a no-good piece of shit loser. And I saw that you have a podcast where you hang out with another known shitbag, David Weiss, who loves to watch women get beaten and who loves to hang out with sex offenders like you. And so I think your show is absolutely putrid, and I would never go on your terrible podcast. I would never hang out with you or David Weiss. This is not a beef. This is a personal preference because I am a morally upstanding, awesome dude, and you are a pile of shit. So why would I ever want to hang out with you?
It smells kind of like pussy. In fact, yeah, this shit smells like butt pussy, butt dick and pussy. Man, that shit smells like 3 dudes in one day pussy. That shit's nasty, man. It smells like it's all good. I have a NuvaRing pussy. Shit smells like vaginal bacteriosis pussy. That shit smells like motherfucking bacterial vaginosis. Bacterial vaginosis.
So right here, he's trying to call me a pussy in all these ways, and he thinks he's funny, but then he runs out of ways to call me a pussy, and his own joke fails. So then he can't even figure out a word to say. He's like vaginosis, vaginosis, vaginosis. It's like, bro, get your shit together. You're so fucked up right now. You're so incoherent that you can't even make fun of me correctly. You're failing miserably at making fun of me so bad that I can use this footage and show it to people to show them how fucked up and inebriated you are that you can't even make fun of me properly. So this man made a video and used my name and Richie from Boston and said he's gonna like call us both out. And then he proceeds to do this. And this is the guy that amassed 300,000 followers with his raps, and everyone loved him so much because of his well-edited videos. Look at what he became. Look who he actually was the whole time. Put my name in your mouth and then not even be able to fucking formulate an actual insult? So people will say shit to me like, Jake, well, you're high on this or that or the other. I'm like, yeah, I can put together paragraph after paragraph, right? I can entertain a crowd for 3 hours and you're going to say I'm hot. This guy can't even make fun of me for like a minute without screwing it up.
Have a NuvaRing pussy. Shit smells like vaginal bacteriosis pussy. That shit smells like motherfucking bacterial vaginosis. Bacterial vaginosis.
Dude, was that shit supposed to be funny?
Andy, did you go to my meetup in Denver? Did we meet or did you just meet him in Denver separately? I can't remember everyone who I met because it was 6 years ago and I'm a stoner and I met a lot of people over my life. So it's hard to remember everyone who I met unless we had like a unique conversation in a certain area that I remember. So some of the people who I met was like, I can't even remember all of them. But yeah, he showed up to my Denver meetup. I did a meetup in Denver, and ODD showed up, and Dead Bob from Globebusters showed up. He wasn't dead at the time. That would have been crazy. Dead Bob showed up to a Jake the Asshole meetup. But no, it was live Bob. And this was before I had called them out as shills. Back in 2017, I hadn't fully made up my mind that they were shills. And I was keeping the door open for the possibility that maybe they weren't shills. But I was skeptical of them at the time when they showed up. Oh, so you met me. Okay. I totally did not remember that. Yeah, ODD. Okay, so you were there at my meetup. Yeah. I know they did several Flat Earth meetups in Denver, so you might have met him in Denver in 2017. I just didn't specifically remember if I've met you or not. Because that was my biggest meetup. That one drew 50 people. And so trying to remember 50 people is rough. Yes, Mountaineer. ODD ada doot 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 dot dot doot 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 dot dot. Yes, indeed. You went to Denver and then your friend talked you out of going to that meetup. It was a cross between a bunch of really good people and then a handful of shills. So Nathan Thompson showed up, ODD, Bob from Globebusters, and this is 2017 version before they were in the documentaries or any of that. So their records were still clean as far as like they hadn't done anything over the top to expose themselves as absolute shills. So when I did meet them, like I said, it's prior to the peak of their shilliness. So I've actually, been told, since I met them, that must mean I'm a shill too. Well, no, not exactly. See, real people can be drawn in to these psychological operations. And so I was the real dude who set up a real meetup in Denver. And what they did was they co-opted my meetup and said, it's a flat earth meetup and all the flat earthers are invited and Bob from Globebusters will be there. ODD will be there. And Jake the asshole. See, so what they did is they hijacked my meetup that I set up and made it like this community flat earther meetup and all these other guys. So basically at the time I thought that was good because I knew it was going to be big. It was going to, a lot of people were going to show up. And so now when I look back, I look at it differently because now Bob's dead. ODD is this character who we're looking at on screen. And then there's me. So now when we compare the track record of those individuals over the last 6 years, oh yeah, I look at this shit way differently now than I did back then. Yes, indeed they did. But at the time I was like, ODD's coming to my meetup. Cool. I liked ODD at the time. Right. And then I didn't care about Bob from Globebusters so much. He was just some fat lop guy, but he showed up too. I was a little leery of them at the time because I was finding out that the AE map didn't quite add up, and none of these guys seemed to mention it or ever talk about it. But I was letting that slide. Thought maybe they might still be legit people. But now, since they did the Bob was in the documentary Beyond the Curve, and ODD, doing the shit here like he is on screen, and all that. I have a lot of experiences now to draw from to where I know now for sure that there was shills actively showing up to meet me, maybe even following me around the country. That's weird.
How drunk are you, ODD? Like, how wasted did you get before you decided to make this video?
It smells kind of like pussy. In fact, yeah, this shit smells like butt pussy, butt dick and pussy. Man, that shit smells like 3 dudes in one day pussy. That shit's nasty, man. It smells like it's all good. I have a NuvaRing pussy. Shit smells like vaginal bacteriosis pussy. That shit smells like motherfucking bacterial vaginosis. That shit smells like trichomoniasis pussy. That shit, man, that pussy smells like I wipe from the back to the front pussy.
Pussy sauteed in butter and garlic sauce, scrambled pussy and eggs, pussy with meatballs, vaginismus supercalifragilisticvaginosis pussy with liver and onions, pussy a la carte, pussy upside your head, pussy up high, pussy down low, pussy everywhere you go.
Where are y'all dudes' balls at, man? Why y'all gonna talk shit about somebody who broke bread with you? Gave you a place to stay, fed you. helped you throw the biggest party you've ever had?
Let's get one thing straight here, OD McDrunky Face. I set up my own Flat Earth gathering in Denver, and then you showed up to my Flat Earth gathering. So quit with all this helping me throw the biggest party of my life. I said I was going to be at a place in Denver, and then you showed up. I didn't specifically ask you to help me throw any party. I also never stayed at your place, and I've also never broke, quote unquote, any bread with you. Again, you showed up to my Flat Earth gathering in Denver, and that was the only time I have ever met you. As far as what you've done with Richie from Boston, that's your business. I have no clue what the two of you have done behind closed doors.
Last time I talked to
Yeah, so that's the crew that showed up for the Denver meetup, and that was the biggest one of the 2017 tour that I did. And Andy said she was Andy, which one are you? If you can somehow point yourself out, which one's you, Andy? Wearing the white shirt. The one over right next to ODD? So you're the lady in the white shirt right next to ODD? Is that you? Okay. Yeah, okay.
experience on Sunday doing this thing with my subscribers. You should come. You never hit me up, so I didn't worry about it. I tried to call you after that. I was blocked. I was like, what? Wait, why am I blocked? What the hell's going on? You can tell when you're blocked. I mean, I don't know if you know that, but if someone blocks you, it's not hard to tell. It's not like you can keep it a secret. Like when I asked you if you blocked me, you're like, no, fucking no service on my phone. Is that why you come out with a YouTube video every fucking 5 minutes when you're on the road? So yeah, Richie, you told me you were gonna come see me 5 weeks ago. You were gonna stop by my house. That never happened. What's up with that?
So here he is all mad at Richie from Boston. So in the same video that he like said that vaginosis line about me, he's also talking to Richie, and he's all mad that Richie didn't come personally hang out with him. Like you can tell he's like really butthurt that Richie said he was going to come through and didn't hang out with him. And he's like, "Hell, you can tell when someone blocks you, and he blocked me." He's all mad, Richie. It's so hilarious that he made this video to like direct at me, but he's also butthurt about Richie at the same time. And I just happen to do the best Richie from Boston impression in the world. What are the fucking odds? That's crazy. It's so weird. He happens to be friends with Richie and be calling out Richie right here in the same video with me. I did not plan that shit. That shit is not scripted. That's literally some weird fucking coincidence. And the fact that I do the best Richie from Boston impression in the world makes it extra coincidental. And ODD never even heard me do Richie from Boston impression because that's something that I've only done for the last couple of years. I didn't used to do it. So it's not like that's something I've done since I got on YouTube.
The invitation is still open for a real life meeting. You could set that up, or even if you're feeling super gamma, like we could just talk over the camera, you know, so you still feel safe enough to say stuff that you wouldn't say in person. But I'm willing to at least save you that much space. You got to show that you can at least show up on camera and talk to somebody that you made up some fucking fake beef with for no reason. That, my friends, is the definition of hate. Haitian is the word. It means you're jealous and envious of somebody else, therefore you display unnecessary aggressive behavior. You're very upset because you're not where they're at, or you don't hold their status or their respect.
Good one, ODD. Oh, wait, you're being serious? Status? Respect? Bro, you're a sex offender. And you currently hang out with a scumbag shill like David Weiss while you shill the flat earth tracking app Friend Finder. What does that make you? That makes you a scumbag, no good, piece of shit shill. This ain't beef, son. This is reality. If you hang out with scumbags and shills like David Weiss and you shill the tracking app Flat Earth Friend Finder with the debunked AE map, that makes you a buster. That makes you a sucker. That makes you a no good piece of shit, scummer, scammer, scumbag, shillbag, whatever you want to call it. That's what you are, dude. So you can get as drunk as you want, and clearly your dumbass is drunk as funk, and now you want to shoot your mouth off at me? Hey, bro, you're the one who made all those terrible decisions in life, which is why you have a huge rap sheet. Speaking of rapping, I think you suck at rapping. I'm actually a better rapper than you. I'm a better singer than you. I can actually play an instrument. I'm an actual real musician, while you're just a faker and a fraud, a studio gangsta. I am the real motherfucking G, while you are the fake, sleazy, Eazy-E wannabe. You, sir, are the definition of a wigger. Straight up, bro, you are a sex offender and a wigger. Why would anyone respect you?
In the particular circles you run in, whatever it may be. Haitian. It's 1 in the morning. I gotta go to bed. Gotta work in the morning. But yeah, I keep hearing that you guys are talking shit from other people. So I'd appreciate it if you would just level with me and tell me about it. I would like to know from you, you know, because I hate it when a motherfucker writes a fucking check with his mouth that his ass can't cash. You know what I mean? Get at me.
ODD, ladies and gentlemen, give them a hand. Give them a hand. A performance like that deserves a round of applause. Wow. How drunk was he? And then that threat at the very end, as if he's some sort of scary guy. Hey, bro, just because you got arrested a bunch of times doesn't make you a tough guy. I actually grew up wrestling and boxing,
and I was a pretty damn good boxer and a pretty damn good wrestler, and I've been in my fair share of street fights. Let me tell you what, I've also met you in person, ODD, and one thing I remember is that you weren't buff and scary looking. You didn't look like a dude who was super athletic. My guess is you don't have a background in mixed martial arts. So when you make a threat like that, that might scare somebody like Richie from Boston, but it definitely does not scare me. I've tangled with dudes bigger than you and scarier than you, and you, sir, are not scary in the slightest. You don't look like you have an athletic bone in your body, and your terrible rapping skills are about the scariest thing you have going on for you. There you go.
I'm getting used to this.
So there's your ODD review. If anybody wonders where I stand with him, where he's been, what he's been up to, go on over to his channel. He ain't doing shit. Yeah, he's got the Fred Durst look. You know who else completely ripped off Fred Durst was Svetia Spherage Gotis. For any of you who have ever seen me, I troll a guy named Spherage Gotis. And he completely ripped off the Fred Durst look so he could hide his hair tattoo and his wig. Aching Dragon says, did it all for the nookie. So you can take that cookie and stick it up your man, stick it up your man, stick it up your man. The one thing about Limp Bizkit that was always annoying, not just the music, but one of the specific things about their music was when Fred would do those like kind of high pitched, like weird noises, he'd be like, chocolate starfish in the hot dog flavored water, Limp Bizkit, man, this time we'll let it out, man. My world highway, man. He would do that thing. I didn't like that. Leslie Guy seen Limp Bizkit in 1996 with Korn. She seen him. She did not saw them. She seen him. Machiavelli the Don says, I like Korn. Korn is actually a Korn tribute band. They're better than the actual Korn. So if you're going to go see Korn, you should cancel and instead go see Korn with an M. They're better. And they cost a lot less. I just made that up. That's not even a true story. So don't anyone believe me and cancel your Korn. That's not true at all. Okay, Rapture Ready says, speaking of rappers, did you know that Eazy-E, Tupac, Biggie, Yaki, Gaddafi, and Fatal are all alive in a group called Jurassic 5? I have heard that. Yes. I can't say for sure that that's all them, but I definitely will say for sure that the Tupac death story doesn't add up from any angle. And the evidence is just full of holes. If you go back and look at it, even like as a really old thing that happened back in the 90s, you can go back and investigate it and just look at like some crime scene footage and then match it up with other crime scene footage. And shit's so stupid. It doesn't make sense from any angle. And so if you just do even a slight investigation into some of these, you can tell these are fake deaths for sure. World stage deaths. And see, at the time, I was a huge Tupac fan, so I cried. Totally being honest. When I was like a teenager, Tupac was my favorite of all the rappers, by far my favorite. And I was hook, line, and sinker into the gangster rap shit, and I cried when he died. It wasn't until way later that I found out he was a sellout and a ballerina, and he wasn't a gangsta at all. And his whole story, his thug life shit, was just like some shit in a script that some white man handed to him. Once I found that all out, then it was kind of a blow to the ego. But I was at the time a gigantic Tupac fan, way back in the day. And I'm sure many of you were too. Isn't it heartbreaking when you find out that somebody who you loved for a chunk of your life was nothing more than a sellout and a pawn in an evil game, duping you for a paycheck? Scott Gorup asks if I can rap some gangster from memory. Oh God, put me on the spot to like pick one tune out of my head. Fuck, off the top of my head, bro, I just can't. I'd have to like start hearing the track, and then I'd be able to rap along with it. But like for me to just like pull something random like a gangster rap out of my head right now, you totally threw me for a loop. We'll see. If I think hard enough, I could probably figure out something. Here you go. Later on that day, my homie Dr. Dre came through with some bitches and Tangeray. He had a fat ass J of some bubonic chronic that made me choke. Shit, this ain't no joke. I had to back up off of it, set my cup down. Tangeray and chronic got me fucked up now, and there ain't no stopping. I'm still poppin'. Dre's got some bitches from the city of Compton to serve me not with a cherry on top. 'Cause when I bust my nut, I'm raising about the cock. Don't get upset, girl, that's just how it goes. I don't love you hoes, I'm out the door, and I'll be rolling down the street, smoking Indo, sipping on gin and juice. Laid back, I've got my mind on my money and my money on my mind. Rolling down the street, smoking Indo, sipping on gin and juice. Laid back, I've got my mind on my money and my money on my mind. Yeah. There you go. Bet you thought I couldn't do it. Bet you thought I was bullshitting. See? Told you I was a gangster. Some gangster shit right there. Some of you guys like actually know that I totally just used all the real lyrics from Gin and Juice. Like not the whole song, but I used all the actual lyrics word for word. But see, I sung them like a white guy to make it funny. That's how that joke works. Hey, yo, doctor, here's another proper track, and it's fat. Watch the sniper. Time to pay the piper. And let that real shit provoke, 'cause you will wanna be low, and you'll get smoked. And I hope when your fans understand when you're talking about spraying me,
The same records that you're making are paying me. Motherfuck Dre, motherfuck Snoop, motherfuck Death Row. And here comes my left blow. All right, there you go. There you go. I can make a whole stream out of this. Jake, white guy gangster rapping. As corny as possible. I got suspended from school. I was scared to go home. I was a fool with the big boys breaking all the rules. Shedding tears for my baby sister. Over these years, we were born another little. Now I'm forgetting the fucking lyrics. I was trying to remember like a Dear Mama Tupac song, and I'm starting to fucking not remember the lyrics. But you got the gist. Probably shouldn't have went for that last one. I knew my memory would fail me eventually. I smoked too many blunts, too much Indo. Forgot some lyrics. If Netflix made a series for you, Jake, what would it be? Yeah, they won't do that. They don't bring up Jake the Asshole, Flat Earth Asshole, Jake Gibson. Those are like banned terms. That's why you don't hear any famous people bring them up. Because think about it. You're telling me not one famous person in the world with any sort of clout or influence has ever seen my shit and thought like, hey, I'll give that guy a shout out. Well, that guy's funny. Da-da-da. No. Weird. You would think by now, somebody with some sort of clout or whatever may have seen my work and maybe mentioned my name or something. But nope. It's as if there's a rule that you are not allowed to say my name on any sort of television program or anywhere other than on YouTube. So I don't think that would ever happen. Now, if I agreed to be in some sort of flat earth documentary like an idiot, and then they totally like tried to make me, look stupid in the documentary, and it was my own fault, that's about the only way. So if they were trying to do a hit piece documentary and I was dumb enough to fall for it and let them film me and do stupid shit and make me look like an idiot, and then they cut up the footage and shit, that would be the only way. But I'm too smart. I'm not going to do that. If you do see me doing that, then you'll know that I've done sold out and I made a lot of money. And that would be at the point you should stop trusting me. Oh, Cat's raw milk is almost gone. Yeah, I know. See, when I go across the country, I know there's going to be sections where I won't be able to get my raw milk and I'll go through my withdrawals. If I don't have my raw milk, I start to crave it and fiend for it. After like 3-4 days, I'm like, need my raw milk fixed, man. Yeah, I'm freaking out. Yeah. I'm going to kill somebody if I don't get my raw milk. Yeah. Tell me, why are we so blind to see that the ones we hurt are you and me? We've been spending most our lives living in a gangster's paradise. Ooh, we've been spending most our lives living in a gangster's paradise. I'm the kind of G all the homies wanna be like, on their knees in the night, saying prayers in the street light. There you go, some gangster's paradise. Okay,
If you guys had fun, I would like you to click the thumbs up. I only see 147 thumbs up. I would like to see, if possible, let's get it up to 200. If you had fun here today, if you enjoyed the stream, I don't think I made much leeway with, or headway, I should say, with planning my trip. I thought, yeah, I'll have my subs help me plan my trip. That didn't go so well, but I showed you a Joe Biden's mask video, and I did some gangster rap singing, and we made fun of ODD. So it was still, fun stream. Got a lot accomplished, a lot of good stuff. So smash that thumbs up. Let's get to 200 thumbs up before we shut her down. Before we shut it down, get me to 200 thumbs up, y'all. Come on. I see 162 thumbs up. Keep them coming. Keep those thumbs coming. It's so easy. Only takes a second. While you're at it, make sure your bell icon is clicked on with the all notifications so that you don't miss any notifications. David Yount coming in with the donation says, for your trip, I have a spare room coming through Missouri, bro. Awesome. That gives me more incentive to come back through Kansas City. And I can also make a video about who's got the best barbecue in town. And I'll try different barbecue and tell you which one is the best. I don't know. I just made that up right now. So thank you, David Yount. Oh, and while I was playing a video, somebody else sent a super chat way earlier. I pulled it up on screen. I forgot who it was off the top of my head. Whoever sent the super chat earlier when I was playing the video, thank you for that. Thank you, David Yount. I appreciate that. All right, how many thumbs are we at? Only 167. Guys, come on, smash the thumbs. I know we can do it. Catapult the thumbs to 200. I know it's possible. Because if there's over 150 people watching now, then there's got to be at least 20, 30 people who haven't hit the like button yet. All you got to do is hit it. It makes the algorithm like me better so that they ban me less. Thank you, Andy. I appreciate that. Andy with some super sticker love. $170. Maybe I was overzealous by asking for too many thumbs up on this one when we've already been on here for well over 3 hours. Maybe I should have asked for it when we were at the peak, when we had 200 viewers. Rapture says, you missed my last super chat, and also don't forget the bass video. Last super chat says, Tupac goes by Akil the MC. Oh, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. Since you repeated what you said in the other one, now I don't have to go back and find it. So thank you for the other one and this one. I've heard that many times that Tupac is Akil the MC. And I have seen the video of him pulling up his shirt and saying, no, it's not me. I don't have the tattoo, so it's not me. I'm not Tupac. So I've seen the evidence, and I think it's possible that it is him. But they did a good job of making sure that Akil the MC doesn't have none of them tattoos and any scars and shit like that. So I can't say the evidence is super compelling, but I will say Tupac didn't die that night that they said he died, or after he got shot in Las Vegas. I don't think he ever did get shot, and I don't think he died. But I can't say 100% sure he is Akil the MC. But the evidence is intriguing. So I'll give it a possibility, but I'm not going to put 100%, yes, it's him. YHYH says, or YHWH says, Puff Daddy is a flamer. That's definitely some helpful information right there. In case any of you guys were wondering, this guy's got the scoop on Puff Daddy. Apparently, flamer. Canadian Punker asks if I think Kurt Cobain is still alive. Probably. You know, his death, when you go back and look, it kind of has that super staged Hollywood kind of thing going for it. And I've heard rumors that he is actually Rivers Cuomo of Weezer. I don't necessarily believe that, but I have heard that that is a popular rumor, that Kurt Cobain is River Cuomo of Weezer. All right. Well, I've been on here a long time. Holy crap, almost a little over 3.5 hours. So I should probably wrap it up and let you guys get on with the rest of your Sunday night or Monday morning for some of you guys. So I want to thank you for joining me tonight, whether you're on the A-Hole channel or my backup channel, either or. Thank you for joining me. And I will catch y'all on the next stream, on the next video, whatever it is that I upload. And until then, thanks for watching. Thanks for all the super chats and participation tonight. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I do. Those donations are going to come in handy for the long trip ahead, which I'm still trying to figure out. So stay tuned for some upcoming van life videos, me taking off in the next couple of weeks. Which way will I go? I guess you're going to have to stay tuned and find out. All right, y'all. Take it easy. Take it sleazy. In the breezy. For cheesy. I'm out of here. Peace.